The crisis will also question at the same time Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, pressing her about family separations. Ex-Trump lawyer Michael Cohen will be back at the Capitol a week after he publicly called the president a con man, a racist, and a cheat. This time, Cohen will talk privately again to the House Intelligence Committee. This is the president calls Democrats' ramped-up investigations into him and his associates a disgrace.
I'm not surprised that it's happening. Basically, they've started the campaign. So the campaign begins. But the their campaign's been going on for the last 2.5 years.
Democrats are probing possible corruption, obstruction of justice, and abuse of power. Friday, the president will go to Lee County, Alabama, where 23 people were killed in that massive tornado that ripped homes apart for dozens of miles. The search continues for several others unaccounted for. This is Fox News.
11 degrees. 6:02 is our time on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A man due in court today after being charged in a crash that killed a 2-year-old girl over the weekend on Chicago's far south side. Donnell Davis faces multiple charges, including reckless homicide and unauthorized use of a weapon. Chicago police are shutting down a private Southside club, the scene of a shooting that wounded 6 over the weekend. Superintendent Eddie Johnson issuing an emergency order for the social club to close in the 2900 block of East 79th. This morning, police commanders in Dixon are telling parents they are aware of a threat to a local middle school there, but they do not think this morning there is any danger. Dixon police took to Facebook last night and other social media to say the threat at Ronald Reagan Middle School is not credible right now. What they do say is that they will have more officers at Reagan Middle School in Dixon today. Dixon is about 90 miles west of Chicago. No one hurt following a fire at a public elementary school on Chicago's northwest side. The blaze broke out last night inside the Onahan Elementary School and was contained to the auditorium. Chicago Sun-Times is canceling a debate this week between candidates running for mayor of Chicago. The newspaper says that decision was made because Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle was non-committal about her participation. The Illinois State Board of Education says it will be switching to a new standardized test later this month for the 3rd through 8th graders in the state. Students will be given the Illinois Assessment of Readiness, or IR, instead of the widely criticized PARCC test. Board of Education spokeswoman Jackie Matthews says IR is about 1/3 shorter than PARCC. Pacers over the Bulls, 105-96 last night. Cubs took an early lead but fell to the Angels in Tempe in spring baseball, 9-2. Sox lost a pair in split squad action. The Bears parting ways with linebacker Sam Acho after 4 years. Horizon League tournament action, UIC lost to Wisconsin Green Bay, 82-77. The news service of Credit Karma. Get your truly free credit scores and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. Download the Credit Karma app now. Credit Karma, here's to progress. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager points out the truth.
We are told that the left is pro-science and the right is anti-science because we don't believe that we should bankrupt Western civilization because the world will come to an end in 12 years. We are going about it the wrong way, that everything we'll do bankrupting the West will change the temperature perhaps a half a degree. Perhaps.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers might seem the same, but while some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios, Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in or nearing retirement, talk with us and find out why investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments. Clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Right now at Staples, you can earn 100% back in rewards on your first in-store print and marketing services order up to $100. For customers who have not made a full-service print and marketing purchase since 3/1/18. Exclusions apply, ends 3/23/19. See store for details. Staples.
It is 6:07 and a check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In the northwest suburbs, the ramp from northbound 53 to eastbound Lake Hook is closed. A flatbed semi carrying lumber is on its side of the ditch. Towing equipment there. This may take some time to clear. Again, the ramp from northbound 53 to eastbound Lake Hook is closed. We're seeing a little bit of a delay now on the inbound Kennedy, Cumberland to Foster. 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 21. Down Eisenhower, heavy starting at Manheim. 36 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Stevenson, after a crash at 83, it's 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop 421. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. And your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Breezy day today, sunshine, high 28. It'll be partly cloudy, bitter cold tonight, low 12. Clouds and cold tomorrow, the high again 28. Cloudy, not as cold Friday, the high on Friday at 38. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 9 at O'Hare, 10 along the lakefront. Next news is at 6:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We'll get to AOC and the FEC, but just a little bit of talk since the GND is all the rage on the left.
I need more acronyms, please.
Seriously. A little talk about climate science. There's an excellent piece by Guy Sorman in City Journal. He does an extensive interview with Judith Curry, who's an actual climatologist. She's a climate scientist. You know how the science is settled, the debate is over? Not really. Not at all, in point of fact. Judith Curry, an actual climatologist, like Patrick Moore, an actual scientist, the co-founder of Greenpeace, who took out after AOC for being his words, pompous little twit. You don't have a plan to grow food for 8 billion people without fossil fuels or get food into the cities. Horses, if fossil fuels were banned, every tree in the world would be cut down for fuel for cooking and heating. You would bring about mass death.
I hope she heard that message.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about it.
She's so radical right now that even Bernie Sanders, you know how he had that big rally in Brooklyn? He didn't invite her to it. She wanted to go. The invitation never arrived.
Well, right. He doesn't want the attention off him.
Yeah, to steal his thunder, but still.
Yeah. So Patrick Moore, Judith Curry, distinguish these individuals from, say, those who are recognized like Rajendra Pachauri, who was an Indian railway engineer who remade himself into a climatologist. He became the director of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which received the 2007 Nobel Peace Prize. That was during his tenure. Pachauri, as Sorman recounts in his piece, told me at the UN he recruited only climatologists convinced of the carbon dioxide warming explanation, excluding all others. That's not exactly following the scientific method with respect to personnel, is it? The extraordinary collusion today allows politicians and commentators to declare that the science says that carbon dioxide is to blame for global warming, or that a quote-unquote scientific consensus exists on warming, implying no further study is needed. And that's nonsense, because science is based on consensus, and not based on consensus, but contradictory views. Scientists don't like uncertainty, but that's the nature of the area of inquiry. So Judith Curry, going back to her, what she had to say in this interview she gave to Sorman, again, at city-journal.org. There is warming, but we really don't understand its causes. The human factor and carbon dioxide in particular contribute to warming, but how much is the subject of intense scientific debate? So the debate actually isn't over among scientists, even though leftist politicians would demand that it be concluded or want to convince you that it is. She points, does Ms. Curry, that between 1910 and 1940, the planet warmed during a climactic episode that resembles our own, down to the degree. 1910 to 1940, that 30-year period. The warming can't be blamed on industry, she argues, because back then most of the carbon dioxide emissions from burning fossil fuels were small. She says almost half of the warming observed in the 20th century came about in the first half of the century, before carbon dioxide emissions became large. Thus, natural factors had to be the preponderant cause. None of the climate models used by scientists now working for the UN can explain this older trend. Nor can these models explain why the climate suddenly cooled between 1950 and 1970. We've remarked upon this before. The doomsday warnings about a coming ice age in the 1970s. Just 40 years ago.
I remember that.
But Sorman asks the questions that are the basis for the fear-mongering on the left. I mean, remember President Obama's famous incantation about fish swimming on the streets of
Miami.
Miami.
But that's what's going to happen. You'll be walking down the street, and fish will be flying on the streets of Miami.
So what's the science? Sorman asks, eroding, our shorelines eroding, threatening to flood lower-lying population centers and entire inhabited islands. Curry says yes. Sea level is rising.
Well, and Chicago's sinking. Remember that report out last week?
We're down 4 inches.
Is your apartment level? Because it's Navy Pier area where the planetarium is. They're down 4 inches, yeah.
You know who can't afford to lose 4 inches?
Democrats in Chicago?
Yeah, tiny Dancer and all the other munchkins.
They'll be really little. The lollipop king is disappearing.
But right before our very eyes.
Help, I'm sinking.
It's going to be like Honey, I Shrunk the Democrat Pauls. Yeah. Where's Rick Moranis when you need him?
No, but have you noticed a difference where you live? No.
Yeah. Have I noticed the 4-inch drop in my...
Over 30 years?
Yeah. In the ground underlying my 75-story building? No, I haven't noticed. Yeah.
Just checking. I want to make sure you're safe.
I don't think I noticed if the 4-inch drop occurred at one time. It was one event. So going back to Curry, yes, the shorelines are eroding. Yes. And yes, some population centers and inhabited islands are threatened. Sea level is rising, she says, but this has been gradually happening since the 1860s. We don't yet observe any significant acceleration of this process in our time. She just goes on to say, look, climate change is complex and poorly understood because there are many processes involved. To blame human-emitted carbon dioxide may not be scientific, but some find it reassuring to believe that we have mastered the subject, and in fact we haven't. That's what always amazes me about the left, how intellectually uncurious they are It's settled. We have this existential fight to save the planet. This is what I'm going to devote my life to. This is going to give my life meaning. This is the transcendental cause. And I'm going to be the hero in this story. I'm the activist. I care more about you. It's all sentimentality. And what's the other side of the sentimentality coin? Rage. So you get both. You get junk on the front end and rage on the back end, and rage leads to violence. And that's where this is going. And in fact, that's where it's already gone. Our friend Noah Rothman had a really interesting piece in commentary. This is an investigation by BuzzFeed. So you would say, well, BuzzFeed, this is the, unsubstantiated dossier publisher and so forth. But there's a lot of substantiation they provided to this story, unlike their stories about Trump or Cohen. Cohen picks it up. Officials working closely with the World Wildlife Fund. You see their commercials on television. They're a well-funded, radical left environmental group. Officials working closely with the WWF in places like Nepal, India, Cameroon, and the Central African Republic in their county parks have been implicated in grotesque violence. With the support and effective underwriting of these radical environmentalist benefactors, the Tom Steyers of the world, the George Soroses of the world. The report implicates officials in torture, waterboarding, attempted rape, shootings, beatings, the deprivation of resources to indigenous people who need them. It alleges the murder of children as old as 11 and 12. What's more, the report contends that local World Wildlife Fund officials were aware of these practices, even as they publicly deny the fact. There are memos describing World Wildlife Fund staffers coordinating operations, jointly directing raids alongside shock troops to combat poaching. One World Wildlife Fund employee divulged a mandate to camouflage a weapons deal, as well as the attempt to train locals on defensive combat tactics. There's a document authored by the former director of a national park in India who outlined an anti-poaching strategy that explicitly involved extrajudicial assassinations. Kill the unwanted, quote unquote. If a question arises as to which rights shall get higher priority, it shall not be the human rights. BuzzFeed's report is that WWF was not only aware of the mandate, it supported the charge. So you can oppose big game hunting. You can certainly oppose illegal poaching of animals in national parks in Asia and Africa and elsewhere. But it's a big step to say we're going to organize vigilante groups, park officials, and radical environmentalists to commit acts of violence in furtherance of preventing poaching, extrajudicial killings, waterboarding, torture. But you understand, this is so sentimentality and rage. That's where I'm getting back to, and this is just an example of it, and that's what Noah Rothman's getting to. But here's the response that you get from Animal Liberation Front, World Wildlife Fund, Earth Liberation Front. This is a global fight, and it must be fought using all means necessary. One example of the propaganda that informs the radicalization is one environmentalist who said, look, based on current projections, much of the globe will be uninhabitable by 2050. Millions will die, hundreds of millions will be displaced, and global governing institutions unresponsive to this are essentially guilty of genocide. And that's despite the fact that most of these dire predictions have not borne out, including as recently the IPCC, the 2007 IPCC that was conferred the Nobel Peace Prize. They had to revise their Chicken Little predictions as recently as 2016. Obviously, we know Al Gore's famous sky is falling predictions did not bear out. So, you have to understand that they are not tethered to facts. They do want the debate to end. They are going to enforce the end of the debate to the extent possible. And where they can and can get away with it, they will commit acts of violence against human beings that they don't believe belong on this planet. They're very cavalier with the lives of others. That's been the case for the radical left for a long time. I mean, that's part of the conversation about socialism versus freedom. Socialism always trends to dictatorships because that's where it has to go to enforce what's required to bring about this utopian vision of the world. Think about PETA. Again, celebrity endorsed, lots of money raised on television with ads.
Oh, yeah.
Think
that's a violent organization.
Orca whales are slaves. The chicken on your plate is a Holocaust on your plate. These are ad campaigns that they've done, litigation that they filed.
Right, but they're violent. I mean, look what they did to Mayor Richard Daley. They tried to burn down his house after the Chicago police shot that cougar in Roscoe Village. They burnt down the wrong house, but they were so mad that they literally drove over to Michigan City, Indiana, and tried to burn his house down.
And it's one thing to dismiss these activities as, the one-off nonsense of kooks, the one-off barbarism of cranks. But the difference now is they have popular political figures, candidates for president of the United States, who will provide cover for what they do, for who they are, who will give a tacit nod. All of this talk about the Proud Boys and white supremacists, the real radicalism that's most likely to translate into something approximating systemic violence is going to come from the Antifas of the world that are just outgrowths of this radical environmentalists who believe that the world will end if they don't gain power and enforce their will on everybody.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Imagining a better bank starts with looking at the savings rates most banks offer and saying, really? Capital One is building something better. You can open a Capital One savings account with one of the nation's best savings rates from anywhere, like here, or here, or here. One of the nation's best savings rates. Opened online, at a Capital One location, or from anywhere. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Oh, we're still in it. Cold and flu season. What is it? Balmy 14 degrees out there right now. Factor in the wind chill. It's in the negative, -3. So you want to get your immune system up so that you can stay healthy and feel better. People around you are sneezing, wheezing, coughing. And do what I did. Start taking Balance of Nature. It's an easy way to get your daily dose of fruits and veggies because we all know we are not eating enough. And that's where Balance of Nature comes in. 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies in a single capsule. There's no preservatives. And I know you've heard the testimonials, but I can tell you they're true. A lot of people say, "What does it really do that?" Well, I met Dr. Douglas Howard. He's the founder of Balance of Nature. He showed me the actual emails and played the actual voicemails that he receives from happy and satisfied users of Balance of Nature. And that should be you. Do something for yourself. Get healthy. Start new. It's the Lent season, the Lenten season, not the lentil season. And this is when there's time for change, and you can do it. Go to balanceofnature.com, type Chicago in the promo code for 20% off your first order of fruits and veggies from Balance of Nature.
Today's retirees are faced with many challenges, such as figuring out how to best manage your nest egg through volatility, inflation, and taxation. The financial waters can be tough to navigate. That's why Craig Bolanos of Wealth Management Group is inviting you to their complimentary educational dinner workshop on Tuesday, March 19th or Thursday, March 21st at 6 p.m. at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in South Barrington. Space is limited, so act now to reserve your seats. Call 833-WMG-PLAN or register online at investwithwmg.com.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get Lasik at the Lasik Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford Lasik?
You can. Because the Lasik Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text TRY to 350-350. The Lasik Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The Lasik Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text TRY to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's TRY to 350-350.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so continuing with AOC and the FEC. The FEC won't let her be her, so let her see.
Let me be.
Two political action committees founded by AOC, funded by AOC's top aide. This 33-year-old Harvard grad, tech geek, funneled more than $1 million in political donations into two of his private companies, according to a complaint filed with the FEC on Monday.
Is he going to be charged with something?
Well, it's a civil complaint, but there are criminal penalties that are attached to violating campaign finance laws, depending on the violations. They're unusual, which is the conversation we've had about the alleged campaign finance violations of Trump and Cohen with respect to hush money. We'll see if the Democrats are as interested in these alleged campaign violations as the ones against Cohen and Trump. I guess they're not alleged because, with respect to Cohen, because he's pleading guilty, but there's still disagreement of if he's pleading guilty to something that's actually a crime. The point, though, with AOC is she doesn't like dark money in politics. Well, here's what this guy did. He set up a couple of PACs. He was a Bernie Sanders organizer before he was AOC's top aide. No surprise there. But he set up PACs that transferred money to private companies for, generic, quote-unquote, strategic consulting, hundreds of thousands of dollars, $1 million total, but in hundreds of thousands of dollars increments. The company, Brand New Congress LLC, isn't apparently registered in any state, according to state government records available online. It's unclear when it was incorporated. One watchdog in this area of campaign finance says, none of this makes any sense. I can't even begin to disentangle it. They're either confused or they're trying to conceal something. I don't think he's confused. It does seem like there's something amiss. I can only think of really two likely possibilities for this sort of pattern of disbursements. One is the scam PAC possibility. They're really just paying themselves and they're concealing it by using the LLC. The other is that there's actually another recipient that the money is going to the LLC and then being dispersed in some other ways that they want to conceal. This is a way to try and get around disclosure requirements in terms of where the money is coming from, and then, as this watchdog representative says, where the money may be going. Bradley Smith, who we've had on this show, former chairman of the FEC, said of this arrangement, it's a really weird situation. I almost see no way that you can do that without it at least being a reporting violation, quite likely a violation of the contribution limits. You might say from a campaign finance angle that the LLC was essentially operating as an unregistered committee. So we've got this combined with questions about Rashida Tlaib we mentioned yesterday. paying herself a salary out of her campaign funds.
And is that legal?
And depending on when you do it and how you do it, but how and when she did it is an apparent violation of FEC rules governing paying yourself. First of all, paying yourself out of a campaign fund is bad form to begin with. But secondly, so Tlaib and AOC both have FEC problems in addition to everything else swirling around both of them. And we haven't even gotten to the third musketeer, Omar, and the resolution that could be voted up today against anti-Semitism in the House, almost entirely due to her.
Right. It's because of her actions why they have this resolution.
This is your 21st century Democrat Socialist Party. Who's on board?
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
In our latest installment of Campus Beat, Rider University president resigns over Chick-fil-A. 6:36.
Yeah, we'll tell you why. And then later, bartenders being replaced with robots. It's happening. We'll tell you where. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Steny Hoyer, Dan and Amy telling our reporters on Capitol Hill this morning they are not going to vote on that resolution this morning. They're going to push it back to Thursday. Rumblings among Democrats who don't want it to go forward today, but we'll keep our eyes on that for you on Capitol Hill as we also watch R&B singer R. Kelly calling the allegations against him of sexually abusing underage girls not true.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
He sat down for an exclusive interview with CBS This Morning's Gayle King. Former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer says he will cooperate with the Judiciary Committee investigation into President Trump. He characterized the Democrat-led investigation as a fishing expedition. Authorities say 3 explosive devices were found near London airports and a major train station. UK policing analyst Graham Wattone says investigators do have evidence to work with starting in the Republic of Ireland.
In fact, they've got, I think, Dublin stamps or Dublin originated postage stamps on them. There's one minor lead, but I think they will be keeping an open mind on where they've come from. The packages look very, very similar. They've got handwriting on the packages.
Scotland Yard says one of the bombs did go off near Heathrow Airport, causing a fire. The death toll remains at 23 after tornadoes tore through eastern Alabama on Sunday.
We were able to positively identify all 23 victims, make families contact.
Lee County Coroner Bill Harris says 7 of the 23 were from the same family. A Connecticut man dying in the hospital of cystic fibrosis was able to cross a big item off his bucket list to speak to President Donald Trump.
Mr. President, through thick and thin, there's been a lot of thicks.
Right.
And there's been a lot of thins. I support you.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. We love you, Jay. We love you, man. And that's really beautiful what you just said. I won't forget it.
Jay Barrett receiving a phone call from the president late last night, one day after the president's son Eric gave him a call. The president also has informed Barrett he's sending a gift, arriving this weekend. A man is due in court today after being charged in a crash that killed a 2-year-old girl over the weekend on Chicago's far south side. Police commanders in Dixon, about 90 miles west of Chicago, telling parents they're aware of a threat to a local middle school, the Ronald Reagan Middle School, today. But right now they have more officers on campus and don't believe there's any danger. Sun-Times canceling a debate this week between candidates running for mayor of Chicago. The newspaper says decision was made because Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle was non-committal about her participation. Pacers over the Bulls, 105-96. White Sox lost twice in split squad action in the desert, while the Cubs fell to the Angels, 9-2. The news, a service of Staples with the supplies you need to run your business like a boss. Now save $70 on the Epson EcoTank 2750 printer, with up to 2 years' worth of ink included. Plus, trade in your old printer in-store and save an additional $30. While supplies last. Ends 3/30/19. Staples. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity warns of the left plans.
We're now on the verge of the single greatest potential of wealth creation in American history, and there's never been a country, a system of governance that has ever created more opportunity and more wealth for more people than this one. And they want to upend it and destroy it.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hopefully your home's heating survived the recent polar vortex. It's important to have a heating and cooling company you know you can depend on. That company is the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. They aren't one of those massive companies with newer techs and subcontractors. Oh no, Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling send only their own highly skilled techs. From service to installation and everything in between, the work quality and customer service is the best. For 40 years, the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling has kept homeowners and business customers comfy and warm in the winter and nice and cool in the warmer months. Don't call the big guys, call the best. Call Carrie at 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.net. That's Carrie at 847-545-1700 or online at arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.net. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, just the best.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
Don't let someone else make money off of your money. Take control of your income and your future. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and I'm talking about Online Trading Academy. They're the leader in trading and investing education. With courses offered throughout Chicagoland, including East Peoria, Valparaiso, Lombard, you can learn about ways to generate income and protect your retirement. I attended a class at Online Trading Academy and learned so much. And you too can jump into a free class. Just call 844-778-7132. That's 844-778-7132. And if you call right now, they will send you home with their Professionals Insider Kit. It's loaded with exclusive investing courses and some of their best lessons from the pros. Limited opportunity and seats go quickly. Call 844-778-7132. That's 844-778-7132. Or visit them online at otaclass.com.
It is 6:38, and a check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
The ramp from northbound 53 to eastbound Lake Hook is closed after a flatbed semi carrying a load of lumber ended up on its side in the ditch. Towing crews are at the scene. That ramp remains shut down. Edens Expressway inbound, heavy Devon to the junction, 22 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 19. Kennedy, 36 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 14 from Montrose, 11 on the Express, outbound 25 minutes to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, now 45 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 31. Stevenson, 49 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 26 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 18 minutes, 80 to the merge. Bishop 423, tollways still look good. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, sunny and breezy today. High of 28. We have sunrise in Chicago right now. 9 above. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
They got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Yeah, Dan and Amy, so you've heard of going galt when it comes to your professional pursuits because of an overarching state, confiscatory taxation, right?
Yeah.
How about because of denigration of religious beliefs, going galt, walking away from your job?
Because of religious beliefs?
Rider University, the...
Oh, here we go.
The Bronx.
Is it Division 2, Division 3?
1, Division 1 basketball, Bronx.
Okay.
Bronx.
Yeah.
Right. I think I said the university president. It's not university president. It's the dean of the school's College of Business. Her name is Cynthia Newman. Students voted to bring Chick-fil-A to their New Jersey campus.
Oh, boy. Them is fighting words.
But the university killed the idea because of the chain's, quote, opposition to the LGBTQ plus community. Plus what? I don't know. Cynthia Newman, the dean of the College of Business there, said the decision was more than just the students' desire for waffle fries and chicken sandwiches. For her, it was about Chick-fil-A's corporate values that the university seemed to denounce in rejecting what the students had voted to do, the faith and values she personally holds. I felt like I had been punched in the stomach when I read the statement from the university decrying Chick-fil-A because they believe in traditional marriage, the Cathy family. Right?
They do, but they also employ people who are gay and lesbian.
Yeah, we went through this. Remember the big Chick-fil-A day in response to all of the first wave of criticism of Chick-fil-A.
And we had the owner on from Chick-fil-A on Chicago Avenue, and my dad actually does their taxes, and they said we talked to our gay and lesbian employees and said, we appreciate you. We don't understand what's going on.
To the extent we even know who you are.
Well, they let themselves be known that they were
I understand.
gay and lesbian. And she said, we don't treat anybody any differently, and we don't discriminate. We employ, if the employee passes a background check, we'll employ them. We don't care about that.
So Miss Newman continued, I'm a very committed Christian in Chick-fil-A's values. Their corporate purpose statement is to glorify God and to be faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to them and to have a positive influence on everyone who comes into contact with them. And I would say that mirrors my personal beliefs perfectly. And so I really felt it very personally when the university rejected the students' call to bring Chick-fil-A to campus. So she wanted to give them a chance to walk it back in a bit. She reached out to university officials privately asking if they would issue an apology for the offense made in their initial email, caricaturing Chick-fil-A as they did. The university did what you would expect them to do when there is a grievance issued from a Christian person, which is they rejected it and they doubled down on the previous offense. They sent another campus-wide email complete with talking points about inclusion at the same time they were being exclusive. So Cynthia Newman said she couldn't get behind the university in good conscience, and so she quit. On February 14th, after weeks of mulling the decision, Newman announced her resignation as dean of the College of Business at Rider University. She said she's received a lot of support from faculty and staff for showing that no one group's opinions, values, beliefs should be elevated over anyone else's. We should be able to respectfully disagree. We shouldn't be putting down one person's values because they don't align with our personal values. She added, if you feel something is not right in the world, you have an obligation to stand up and say what your perspective is on that. How about that? I mean, a minor victory, somebody lighting a candle in academia, that's unusual enough. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. What do you think of Cynthia Newman's decision, and what would you do in her case if you were in her situation?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
Would you ever resign from a job over a disagreement about political or religious beliefs, or a disagreement about how a superior treated that disagreement over religious or political beliefs? Or
if I needed the job, I'm sorry, I'd have to stay working. And then you just learn how to process it and ignore it or deal with it.
Do you need the job? I mean, I'm not saying this, do you ever need a job, that specific job?
Compromises your moral values.
Because one of the things is, right, I mean, you could always get fired for whatever, an economic downturn and a downturn in the company's performance. You could get fired, and then you have to go get another job. So there's always the possibility, I mean, unless you work for, like, the Chicago public school system, there's always the possibility of being fired for performance or things beyond your control. So there's always the possibility of disruption. Would you impose disruption on yourself in furtherance of your religious or political beliefs? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Marty in Naperville.
Marty, good show as usual. I don't know if you remember 4 or 5 years ago or so, there was a situation with Chick-fil-A. I don't remember exactly what it was. Something about the morals of the company. Excuse me. And people, including myself, my wife, and friends of mine, stood outside to support him for hour after hour in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we got up to get food, they were all out of food, but it didn't matter. You just ordered a cookie or something. There was that much support for this company. And while it was going on, there were all sorts of little, if you want to call them gangs of people trying to disrupt everything. And everybody just stood in line and supported him. It was these other people trying to make this big deal, and it was just, Chick-fil-A is a very, very moral, good company. Would I leave a job because of that? There's probably other things involved with this woman and how she's being treated or something, whatever. But if she just left the job because of it, then good for her. I stand by her.
Thanks for the call, Marty. Greg in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The answer is yes in a heartbeat. When I interview clients or if I am interviewing for a position, I try to ask a theological question. It gets down to the point that you've been driving at basically every day, Dan. The ontological question of whether something is premised on God or not. And if I can discern that they are or not, I know how everything that from their decision matrix is going to fall out at that point. The answer is yes.
Thanks for the call, Greg. And thanks for using one of the words with Proft. Ontological has been called.
I think I saw my oncologist yesterday.
Right. And he prescribed some painkillers for that?
Yeah.
Amy in Huntley, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan and Amy. I just wanted to comment about the woman who was the dean of business at Ryder, and I don't think she should quit because she might have lost this battle, but if she quits, we're going to lose the war if we keep losing all the conservative people in education.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point, right? She's, thanks for the call, Amy.
She's voice of reason.
Well, she's a beacon on the campus, right? Especially when she came out, and I don't know if it was known. I don't know if she had been outspoken previously. But she certainly was in this instance, and then so it would be known that you have a committed Christian as the dean of your College of Business at Rider University. That's not something you could say on many college campuses. That's a fair point. So sometimes even though you might find it uncomfortable or worse, perhaps the consideration that God is using you for this purpose to be in this hostile environment to provide an example to the hostiles.
I just had a thought. Since Proco Joe is out as alderman of the First Ward, maybe he can get a job at Chick-fil-A. He's looking for some work.
Chick-fil-A does not represent Chicago values the way that Proco Joe does. I'm sure.
We're all going to take off our shirts and see who has a better body. Come on.
A principled person like Gropo Proco Joe would never compromise his positions for financial gain. No. Perish the thought.
And I still think of, too, what Chick-fil-A did. They had a booth inside the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta for the Super Bowl Sunday, and they stuck to their moral values, and they did not open on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, that's right.
They could have made millions or tens of thousands of dollars that day.
Turns out there are more important things to some people than always making money.
Yeah.
Bob in Gary, Indiana.
Hey there. That's pretty much the last caller stole what I was going to say about Christian influence in places like academia. That's their whole objective, is to remove people that have a differing opinion. It seems like everyone else's opinion is valued, except for when it comes to a conservative Christian. And you can see how that has played over with President Trump and how the media just continues to attack him on a daily basis. But she should have stayed there. She could have been helpful, and their objective was obtained when she chose to resign.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the call, Bob. It's a fair point. Frank in Naperville.
Yeah, I'm torn on this. I'm really confused. I thought what she should have done was protest, break things, and have the police stand down to make her point, like the left does. Am I getting this wrong, Dan and Amy?
Yes, you're right. She should have organized a mob and engaged in thuggery in furtherance of her Christian values. And, hey, the irony is lost on the other side, so why not lose our sense of irony, too? I get it. Yeah, thanks for the call, Frank.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs, Southwest Airlines CEO, complaining about losses in the labor dispute. Papa John's reaches a settlement with its founder, and Audi recalls 75,000 vehicles. Those stories are next.
Have you ever seen a pest controller spraying chemicals in your home? It makes you wonder, if their chemicals are safe, then why do they suit up and wear respirators only to leave you to walk back in unprotected? G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free, and I'm here to tell you there's a better way. In an age where we now have the choice to drive electric cars, you too can electronically rid your home or business of unwanted rodents and pests. The answer is Plug-in Pest Free. 100% chemical-free, Plug-in Pest Free is your safest bet for your family and pets. Our bestseller, the Plug-in Pest Free Pro, will cover up to 4,000 square feet. Now that's fair dinkum. So order yours today at gopestfree.com. Use promo code SAVE20 for 20% off plus free shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee. That's gopestfree.com, promo code SAVE20. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. Gopestfree.com today.
The CEO of Southwest Airlines says the loss of out-of-service aircraft costing the carrier millions of dollars each week. CEO Gary Kelly accusing some mechanical union workers of grounding those planes to gain leverage in labor negotiations. Papa John's reaching a settlement agreement with founder John Snatter. He will step down from the pizza chain's board once an independent director is appointed. Snatter will also withdraw a lawsuit against the company. Audi recalling nearly 75,000 cars and SUVs in the United States because of potential flammable fuel leakage. Audi dealers will repair the affected vehicles at no cost to their owners. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Pain drugs are addictive and have side effects. Get off the drugs, get rid of the pain. You don't need to live with chronic pain. Let's repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, from an accident or pain that just develops. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the most respected and successful pain doctors in the world. Dr. Candido will work to find the source of your chronic pain and fix it. He teaches pain management around the world and has been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Okay, you get it. He's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialist will help you get off the pain medication and all of its side effects. You can get your life back. Drugs mask the pain, find the source, and fix it. Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain. You can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info at mypainchicago.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-1368. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-1368. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-1368. 1-800-700-1368.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America one life at a time.
I've probably been on it 2 years now, and it's been, honestly, a godsend. After you're on it for a while, you tend to forget the aches and pains and things that was going on in your body and your life before you started taking Balance of Nature. I get up, I go up and down the stairs, no pain. Hey, you know what? Thank goodness for Balance of Nature.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself by using discount code CHICAGO. The price of fruits and vegetables is going up. Call now to see how you can lock in your price of fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spaveris is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Another school year is about to wrap up, and you need to start thinking about what activities your son or daughter will be involved with during summer break. You want them to have fun this summer, but at the same time have some structure to be prepared for the next school year. Introduce them to St. John's Northwestern Experience in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin with summer OPS, opportunities for personal success. 5 intensive weeks of learning and training. Young men and women grades 7 to 12 get an opportunity to advance academically in the structured and supportive environment of a military boarding school, and at the same time be involved in an exciting summer adventure camp that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, leadership skills, spiritual and character development, and athletics and wellness. Camp St. John's Northwestern for your son or daughter with full boarding or day camp programs. Get more info at 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET or online at sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, another victory for religious freedom. I mean, if you consider the Rider University Business School dean who resigned, a victory for religious freedom. At least it's somebody standing up for Christianity. Jack Phillips, despite the Supreme Court's ruling in his favor, 7-2 decision.
Yeah.
The Masterpiece Cake Shop.
Right.
The Colorado Civil Rights Commission took out after Jack Phillips again. We reported on this, charging him for failing to design a cake celebrating a male to female gender transition. So here we go again. Well, the Civil Rights Commission in Colorado dismissed its pending discrimination charge against Masterpiece Cake Shop. So good for Jack Phillips. And Justice Kennedy, since the left likes him so much, rebuked the commissars of the Colorado Civil Rights Star Chamber in his opinion in the Masterpiece Cake Shop case, to describe a man's faith as one of the most despicable pieces of rhetoric that people can use, which is how one of the Colorado commissioners described Jack Phillips' Christianity, is to disparage his religion in at least 2 distinct ways, by describing it as despicable and also by characterizing it as merely rhetorical, something insubstantial and even insincere. The sentiment is inappropriate for a commission charged with the solemn responsibility of fair and neutral enforcement of Colorado's anti-discrimination law. Anthony Kennedy rebuking the Colorado Civil Rights Commission. Unchastened, they went after him again, but the Alliance for Defending Freedom stepped in, representing Jack Phillips again, and he was victorious again. So, you know, another candle you can light out Colorado way for religious liberty in this country.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, R. Kelly erupts and is bombastic and in the face of Gayle King during his combative interview. We'll have it here. But first, let's quickly go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
A Chicago man crushed to death in a garbage truck in Rosemont. We'll have that story for you. Fire at a Chicago elementary school. CPD closing a private club after a shooting wounds 6. Governor Pritzker won't be sending any money to bail out Western Illinois University. Bulls lose to the Pacers. Blackhawks host the Sabres. And the Bears release Sam Acho. Mostly sunny and breezy in your forecast. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Michael Cohen is going to talk again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, this time in private on Capitol Hill, a week after the ex-Trump lawyer accused the president of committing crimes, calling him a con man and a cheat. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, Michael Cohen going behind closed doors with the House Intelligence Committee. This is House Democrats seek documents from more than 80 people and entities associated with President Trump. Speaking to reporters yesterday, the president said Democrats have started their 2020 campaign.
So it's a shame, and the people understand it. When they look at it, they just say presidential harassment.
Cohen is likely to face questions about whether his lawyer ever discussed a possible pardon from President Trump, as reported by the Wall Street Journal. He testified publicly that he would not accept a pardon. Dave.
Rachel, also at the Capitol, 2 hearings into border security.
We're committed to addressing this humanitarian need, but the current situation is unsustainable for Border Patrol operations.
That's Border Patrol Chief Brian Hastings. The Customs and Border Protection Commissioner will appear at the Senate to discuss a 300% increase in illegal immigrant family apprehensions this fiscal year. The head of Homeland Security will testify at the House. Democrats who disagree there's a crisis will question Kirstjen Nielsen about family separations. There are reports citing satellite images that North Korea is rebuilding a long-range rocket launch site that had been dismantled. This a week after President Trump's nuclear talks with Kim Jong-un broke down. National Security Advisor John Bolton says Kim was
thinking that this administration would buy the same pony that they've sold to previous administrations, that they'd accept we would accept a partial deal in exchange for very significant lifting of sanctions.
Instead, Bolton says the U.S. could increase sanctions. Another Democrat who is considering a run for president won't, even though Michael Bloomberg says he believes he would beat President Trump in the election. However, the former New York City mayor in a statement acknowledged it would be difficult winning the nomination in a crowded Democratic race. This is Fox News.
Fair skies, 9 degrees above. 7:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Singer R. Kelly calling the allegations against him of sexually abusing underage girls not true.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
Sat down for an exclusive interview with CBS This Morning's Gayle King. Meantime, Kelly could be headed back to jail very soon. Cook County judge issued an order last month that would send the singer back behind bars if he does not pay $161,000 in child support payments. Sun-Times says he had not made that payment as of last night. Chicago police are shutting down a private club that was the scene of a shooting that wounded 6 over the weekend. All 6 were shot early Sunday. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson issued that emergency closure order for the club in the 2900 block of East 79th Street. No foul play suspected after a Chicago man was crushed to death in a garbage truck over the weekend in Rosemont. Police say Diego Mato was seen on surveillance video jumping into that dumpster behind the Hofbrau house on Saturday. He was crushed after a garbage truck driver picked up that bin and dumped its contents into his truck. Mato was intoxicated, according to investigators at the time of the incident. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says no bailout for Western Illinois University. He wants to send more money to all universities in the state, but there will not be enough in his latest budget to stop the latest round of pink slips, 130 at WIU. Pacers over the Bulls, 105-96. Cubs fell to the Angels in Tempe. White Sox lost a pair in the spring to the Indians and Padres. College hoops, it's tournament craziness time. Horizon League tournament, UIC lost to Wisconsin Green Bay 82-77. Tonight, Northwestern and Ohio State. In the ACC, Notre Dame and Clemson. In the Big East, DePaul and Georgetown. And Eastern Illinois tackles the University of Tennessee Martin in the OVC tournament. The news is a service of Cassidy Tire and Service. Hey, Chicago, the Cassidy Tire and Service family has a great deal for you this month. Save up to $70 on a set of 4 select tires now through the end of the month. Just stop by any of the 15 Cassidy Tire and Service locations. Experience dependability since 1914. A check of traffic and weather is coming up next on AM 560.
Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
All money managers might seem the same, but while some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios, Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in or nearing retirement, talk with us and find out why investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments. Clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Right now at Staples, you can earn 100% back in rewards on your first in-store print and marketing services order up to $100. For customers who have not made a full-service print and marketing purchase since 3/1/18. Exclusions apply, ends 3/23/19. See store for details. Staples.
7:07 and a check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Northbound 53 traffic is stop and go Dundee to Lake Cook, where the exit ramp to eastbound Lake Cook is closed after a flatbed semi carrying lumber spilled into ditch. Towing crews are at the scene. Eden's inbound delays start at Devon, 25 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, southbound 23. Kennedy, now 41 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 16 from Montrose, 15 on the Express. Inbound Eisenhower, heavy starting at Wolf Road, 51 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 59 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 44 from the Tri-State. Ryan is 28 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, siding to the merge, Bishop Ford 30. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, mostly sunny, breezy, and a high at 28. Partly cloudy, very cold tonight, low down to 12. Clouds and cold tomorrow, the high again 28. And then cloudy on Friday, high 38. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
9 above at O'Hare, 10 above along the lakefront. Your next news update, 7:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. The full R. Kelly interview by Gayle King on CBS News is on tap this morning. Yeah, maybe right now, but they teased some provocative moments from the interview last night into this morning.
Yeah, it was an 80-minute interview that at times got a little crazy because obviously he's defiant, Dan. This is his swan song to try and convince everybody, even a possible jury, that he didn't do it, that this is just a hit job.
Right. Breaking his silence. Remember, he's facing 10 counts of sexual abuse here in Cook County, and he's not guilty, says R. Kelly.
Do you still sit here and say you have never been with underage girls? Can you really say that?
I sit here and say this. I had 2 cases back then that I said in the beginning of the interview that I would not talk about because of my ongoing case now.
Okay.
Right? Okay, fair enough. But I will tell you this. people are going back to my past, okay? That's exactly what they're doing. They're going back to the past, and they're trying to add all of this stuff now to that, to make all of the stuff that's going on now feels real to people.
But the past is relevant with you with underage girls.
Absolutely no, it's not.
Why?
Because for one, I beat my case. When you beat something, you beat it.
You were acquitted.
We can't double jeopardy me like that. You can't. It's not fair. It's not fair to nobody. When you beat your case, you beat your case.
But I'm not talking about the one case in which you were acquitted. I'm talking about the other cases where women have come forward and said, R. Kelly had sex with me when I was under the age of 18. R. Kelly was abusive to me emotionally and physically and verbally.
Okay.
R. Kelly took me in a black room where unspeakable things happened. This is what they're saying about you.
Not true.
These aren't old rumors.
Not true. Whether they're old rumors, new rumors,
why would they
future
say this
rumors,
about you?
Not true.
Not true. And Gayle King pressed him on the issue. She came back at him again about, have you ever had sex with an underage girl?
Have you ever had sex
No.
with anyone under the age of 17?
No.
Never.
No.
I have to tell you, it's so hard to believe that based on all that we've read
I'm gonna tell
and
you
what the
something,
women
Gayle.
have
There's
said
one
about you.
I'm gonna
What
tell
the
you
women have
something.
said about you.
What women said about me. What women. So nobody's allowed to be mad at me and be scorned and lie on me.
So they're lying on you. That's your explanation. They're lying on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So here's the problem. He was married to Aaliyah when she was 15. So,
Yeah, you said they got married in Rosemont.
They did.
But
So, Mr. Kelly, Robert, if I may, you never consummated the marriage? So you did not have sex with Aaliyah before she was 17 years old. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what you just said. Despite those two cases you don't want to talk about from the past.
Anybody buying this? 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. He went on to say, I don't have little girls trapped in my basement. I'm not starving anybody. I don't have a harem, and I don't even know what a cult is. And at one point in time, he got so angry, he stood up and he looked like he was lunging toward Gayle, and a security guard came in.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that you have never held anybody against their will.
I don't need to. Why would I?
Well,
How stupid would it be for R. Kelly, with all I've been through in my way, way past, to hold somebody, let alone 4, 5, 6, 50, you said. How stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say you
That's
were holding...
stupid, guys.
I didn't...
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense. Don't forget the blogs. Forget how you feel about me. Hate me if you want to. Love me if you want. But just use your common sense.
So, and then this is the absolute full freak out.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave out 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You're killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
So who's a better actor, R. Kelly or Jussie Smollett? Take your calls, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
That's a good point. That is a good point, because they're putting on shows for the American people to see, to try and exonerate themselves. I will say this though, Gayle King did a much better job than Robin Roberts did, because Robin Roberts came out and basically said that she was inherently biased because she is a black gay woman, and she said if she was questioning him too hard about the hate crime, her LGBTQ community, she was worried about what they would say about her. But Gayle King, I think she handled them as well as she could. But I mean, he's sick. This reminds me of Dennis Rodman a little bit when trying to defend his relationship with Kim Jong-un. Remember when he freaked out? He's like, "Oh, why are people so hard on me?"
Now, it was reported yesterday that R. Kelly in that interview said to Gayle King that he needs help. I didn't get a sense of what kind of help he says he needs other than legal help. That'll be interesting to get more details on what kind of help he thinks he needs. by the way, regarding his children, he's just trying to have a relationship with his kids. 3 children, aged 20, 18, and 16. His
is it a 16-year-old daughter by any chance?
He
has, that's the age group that he's alleged of abusing.
16-year-old son. Oh. He has an 18-year-old
daughter.
Transgender.
Okay.
Yeah. Jay Kelly, who transitioned to Jaya Kelly in 2014.
All right, so we have some issues on the home front. Why are you coming forward?
Imagine that.
I am surprised that you agreed to do it. Why are you sitting down with us today?
I'm very tired of all of the lies. I've been hearing things and seeing things on the blogs, and I'm just tired.
What are the lies that you're hearing that disturb you most?
Oh my God, all of them. Got little girls trapped in the basement, helicopters over my house, trying to rescue someone that doesn't need rescuing because they're not in my house, handcuffing people, starving people. I have a harem, a cult. I don't even really know what a cult is, but I know I don't have one,
Didn't he have a series of songs trapped in the closet? Maybe you need to be more specific. They're not trapped in the basement. I wonder what he was singing to about that.
This is
Lifetime, the Lifetime show.
Right, he brought this all upon himself.
Again, we know about the illicit marriage to Aaliyah. Now, she died tragically in a plane crash in 2001. She was a young recording artist. Died in a plane crash going to Bermuda to shoot a video. She admitted that she lied. Reporting on this, she admitted she lied about her age. And she ultimately had the marriage annulled and also the marital documents expunged. So we know that case. I assume that's one of the 2 cases in his past that R. Kelly doesn't want to talk about. And then not just the charges, again, the case he was acquitted in 2008, right. but these rumors about him, what people have seen, the evidence to support the 10 felony sex abuse charges against him, the women who were in court and what they're saying about him. And again, we're talking about multiple women.
Well, yeah, and then the 6-part series, Surviving R. Kelly, they interviewed 50 people, including his ex-wife and others, and they're all singing the same song.
Scott on the West Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, Dan and Amy, thanks for taking my call. The real question is R. Kelly's intelligence level that he would go on TV to even interview about it. I mean, the first thing any lawyer will tell you is just to keep your mouth shut. These young women are, at that age, in the early teens, they are Jezebels, and he should know better than to do that. But I also have a problem with coming back years and years and years later. It should be there should be a statute of limitations on this kind of thing.
All right. Thanks for the call, Scott. I mean, 2 things. One is, it's not a question necessarily of stupidity or intelligence. This is a question of being a pedophile.
Well, yeah,
being a predator.
And child pornography charges. I mean, he had that charge in Florida, too. And the latest video is from 2014 that Michael Avendati produced of him with a 14-year-old girl. And you can see his face this time. It's not like the first video that I saw.
Right.
Where you couldn't determine who it was.
What we're really talking about with R. Kelly is a question about whether or not he's a serial predator. So it's not about stupidity or intelligence, and I hope Gayle King gets to that point in the interview.
And real quick, you mentioned about him saying that he needs help, and this is that part of the interview.
Well, I came here for them to hear me talk.
But
I need help.
What kind of help?
This is the kind of help I need.
Yes, what kind of help?
I need somebody to help me not have a big heart. Because my heart is so big. People betray me, and I keep forgiving them.
Dan, do you have the big heart disease, too?
I'm sorry I won't be able to help you, Rob.
I laugh so I don't cry because it's so sad.
Maurice and Berwyn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan, he did it. I mean, Dan, 2 points. I'll try to make 3 points real quick.
All right.
One, I grew up in West Side Chicago. Statutory rape was really common when I was a kid. It was very kind of a usual thing for older African-American men to, pick up younger girls. It was just kind of unspoken. 2, as long as I lived in Chicago, which I no longer do, thank God, People always talk about R. Kelly driving past high school. You can go to anywhere on the south side and they would tell you, oh, yeah, you can drive past a couple of times to get your girls. He just caught up with them. Society's different now. We can talk about these things. And third point, wrong is still wrong. I look forward to the day when we children have to bring in their raves and blah, 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 blah. He's wrong. Pedophilia is wrong. Those are young girls and he corrupted them.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
that's my point, Dan. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks for the call, Maurice. Well said.
Yeah, thanks for calling and thanks for listening.
I mean, I think that's right on point. And again, I'll just repeat, I know business owners in the same neighborhood where he has his recording studio.
Had.
Right. And they've seen the same things that Maurice is referring to that have been rumored about. I mean, you don't get parodied by Dave Chappelle on his Comedy Central show without these rumors being well established, because otherwise nobody would know what Chappelle was parodying. But in fact, everybody knew what Chappelle was parodying. And so my point, and to Scott from the West Side's point too about the old charges, well, where has the Cook County State's Attorney's Office been for the last 20 years? Where has law enforcement been for the last 20 years? Everybody knows these rumors because he was an international superstar. And everybody knows about the Aaliyah marriage. Michael in McHenry. Michael?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
Yes. How are you?
Good.
I thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to say that, in my opinion, all of these things are rumors right now, and we haven't seen any proof just yet. And I don't believe any of it until it's proven to us with evidence that this particular person is guilty.
Proof, there's videos.
Well, that's fine.
He is into child pornography. He rapes and molests little underage girls and videotapes it.
Well,
I mean, it'll take a jury, but I think he's trying to, persuade the jury now before it's picked that he's a good guy, that he's got some problems. Dan, he's got too big of a heart, man. Come on.
That's way down the list of his problems. But here's the thing. Michael's position is fine to say, look, I want to see this proven beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. We don't have all the evidence that prosecutors have and that the defense has, so we don't know everything they know. That's true. But you understand, when you have a high-profile case like this, just the Cosby case or cases against Michael Jackson or even the Bob Kraft case down in Florida, when you have high-profile people, you're going to talk about it. When those high-profile people go on television to protest their innocence, then you're going to talk about them. So that's what we're doing, and we're just putting it in context here. Some things probably that the jury won't hear because they'll be more prejudicial than probative.
Probative,
but it's a conversation to have. So if you want to wait for the evidence to be presented and him to be convicted beyond reasonable doubt, you can. That should be a few months from now. Jeff in Plano, Texas.
Jeff from Plano. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. Thanks for taking my call.
Are you Plano, Texas, or Plano, Illinois?
No, I got the hell out of Illinois a while ago.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Just wanted you to say.
You know why you hang out in Plano?
No.
Some Plano fun.
I loved your segments, and I heeded your advice, and off the house, and off I went.
People are moving because of you.
Dr. Heal Thyself over here. All right. Go ahead, Jeff. Thanks.
Well, to Scott's point, it's not so much intelligence as it is arrogance. I mean, just because this guy's a big rock star, you look at Michael Jackson, nobody wanted to believe it. You look at R. Kelly. The guy was, once you are, you always are. And this guy just keeps going around and keeps doing it, and then, he's pissing down your back and tell you it's raining every single time.
Easy.
And the only thing
That's not a
stopping
metaphor
him
in
is
this case.
Thank you. The only thing stopping him from killing somebody is probably the fact that he's a high-profile guy, because this pattern is still going to go on.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. Appreciate the call. Don in Naperville.
Hi, how are you? It occurred to me, if you show so much emotion, does that mean you're innocent? And then, if you're sort of calm about the whole thing like Brett Kavanaugh was, does that mean you're guilty? And what does this theatrics have to do with it in the end?
I think,
That's all.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Don. I just think that, R. Kelly is sort of a squirming bag of appetites and arrested in terms of his certainly moral development, but intellectual development too. That's not saying he's stupid. I'm just saying that he's not a grown-up. And so I think that temper tantrum you heard sort of is evidence of that.
It's
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I bet you're looking forward to spring when the weather gets warmer and all the outdoor blah of winter turns to green. It's something we all look forward to in these first months of the new year. With the change of season also comes landscape maintenance. It's just one of those things that's got to be done. And it's got to be done right. Taking care of your properties is important. That's why you should choose AM Woodland Outdoor Design. AM Woodland Outdoor Design makes the outdoors come alive at your commercial, apartment building, or homeowners association. Spring will be here sooner than you think, and the expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design keep your properties looking their best all year long with a convenient maintenance contract. It's quality service with integrity and reliability every time. Contact them now and get your maintenance contract locked in for the new year.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Northern Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com, that's amwoodland.com, or call 847-224-2167.
Start feeling healthy, boost your immune system, and start getting the fruits and veggies that I know you need. And that's how you can get that is by Balance of Nature. 10 different servings of 31 different fruits and veggies in a single capsule. There's no preservatives. The testimonials are real. I met with Dr. Douglas Howard. He's the founder and creator of Balance of Nature. He showed me the emails and played the voicemails that he received from happy and satisfied users of Balance of Nature, just like me. So get healthy by ordering Balance of Nature. Don't wait another day. Try it now before you get sick. It'll help boost your immune system. Here's what you do. Go to balanceofnature.com, type Chicago in the promo code for 20% off your first set of fruits and veggies from Balance of Nature.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-1368. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-1368. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-1368. 1-800-700-1368.
Latoria Brothers Construction Company is a proud sponsor of AM 560 and Food for the Poor. Turn to Latoria Brothers Construction Company for all your commercial, industrial, or retail construction needs. New construction, renovations, interior remodeling, facility expansions, and tenant owner build-outs. Latoria Brothers Construction Company has you covered from start to finish. From design concept through construction completion, Latoria Brothers offers a single-source proactive approach. Their family has been providing a high level of excellence in service, reliability, and experience since 1948. Latoria Brothers. They'll modify services to accommodate your construction needs no matter what size and scope. Consulting, design, build, construction management, general contracting. Achieve your vision and dream for your facility. Save time and money. Make Latoria Brothers part of your construction team. Quality workmanship on time, on budget. Visit LatoriaConstruction.com or call 630-766-3036. Latoria Brothers, shaking hands, not fists.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, here's another disturbing story following the R. Kelly story. Kellen Winslow II, you know, he's the son of the Chargers great Kellen Winslow, one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. I love that Air Coryell team. Remember that Air Coryell team? With Dan Fouts, Chuck Muncie, John Jefferson, Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow. Man, it was a great team. Well, Kellen Winslow II is disgracing the name of Kellen Winslow I. Jailed without bail Monday after prosecutors brought new charges accusing him of lewd conduct in front of a 77-year-old woman in a local gym. That is, in addition to the charges he's facing, for which he is out on bail, of kidnapping and rape. Winslow, who played in the NFL, he was a first-round pick of the Browns coming out of Miami University, is accused of 2 counts of lewd conduct and 1 count of battery of an elder and willful cruelty to an elder. In addition to these other charges, he's accused of exposing himself to a woman also in her 50s.
Okay, this is...
yeah.
There's a long list of crimes there.
Allegations he kidnapped and raped 2 transient women in the Encinitas area. The attacks happened last May and March, allegedly, both women in their 50s. In addition, exposing himself to another woman also in her 50s in her Encinitas yard last May. What the hell?
What is wrong with him?
All kinds of stuff, apparently.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, we're going to switch gears and talk trade and global economics with CNN chief economist Steve Moore at 7:37.
But first, we go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Chuck Muncie, the first NFL player to wear goggles while playing, as he had glasses, you may recall.
Yeah, because he had a bit of a cocaine problem.
Yeah,
that's too. Double.
I was going for the heartwarming. You just took it right down into the cold, hard day. 9 degrees outside, fair skies and sunshine. Stock futures are down slightly across the board ahead of this morning's opening. Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ futures all down a bit, some more than 10%. Dow futures actually off 38 right now. Crews are resuming efforts to clean up debris following Sunday's EF4 tornado in eastern Alabama. 23 people lost their lives, including 7 members of one family. There are a handful, according to searchers, still unaccounted for. Experts say North Korea appears to be rebuilding a key long-range rocket site after the failed summit with President Trump in Vietnam. Korean affairs analyst Victor Cha.
To start up this activity only 48 hours after the failed summit is a clear sign that they're angry.
Joseph Bermudez with the Center for Strategic Studies notes the satellite imagery shows a rapid progression at that test facility that was shut down last August. Singer R. Kelly calling the allegations against him of sexually abusing underage girls not true.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
He sat down for an exclusive interview with CBS's This Morning's Gayle King. Meantime, Kelly could be back in a Cook County jail soon. The R&B singer was ordered last month to pay $161,000 in child support payments by his ex-wife, or the judge given to his ex-wife. Now, the Sun-Times says as of late last night, he had not made any payments. A man is due in court today after being charged in a crash. They killed a 2-year-old girl over the weekend. It happened on Chicago's far south side. Donnell Davis faces multiple charges. A loyal community saves St. Joan of Arc School in Skokie. It will operate independently of the Archdiocese of Chicago. Cardinal Blaise Supich approving a plan for the Academy of St. Joan of Arc. The Archdiocese had informed parents that declining enrollment at the suburban school may force its closure. That spurred parents to action. Now, your kids at school all have one of these, right? A calculator. One of the inventors of the handheld electric calculator is dead at the age of 86. Jerry Merriman died late last month at a Dallas hospital. It's just being reported now by Dallas-based Texas Instruments. He's credited along with Jack Kilby and James Van Tassel of inventing that machine that paved the way for other computers. Again, he made the breakthrough while working for Dallas-based TI in the 1960s. Pacers over the Bulls, 105-96. Cubs fell to the Angels in Tempe. Sox lost to the Indians and the Padres in split squad action in the desert. The news, a service of Staples. Right now at Staples, you can earn 100% back in rewards on your first in-store print and marketing services order up to $100. For customers who have not made a full-service print and marketing purchase since 3/1/18. Exclusions apply. Ends 3/23/19. See store for details at Staples. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity warns of the left plans.
We're now on the verge of the single greatest potential of wealth creation in American history, and there's never been a country, a system of governance that has ever created more opportunity and more wealth for more people than this one. And they want to upend it and destroy it.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
What would you be willing to spend to make an often frustrating aspect of your business run smoothly, perfect, hassle-free? Yep, talking about IT, networks, computers. Sure, it would be great to hire an entire IT department, but that would be expensive. There's salaries, benefits, space for new employees, equipment. Nope, not gonna happen. Or could it? For only $7.95 a month, you can make your IT issue a thing of the past with Turnkey IT. Just like your own in-house IT department, but better. Turnkey makes it happen. They make it secure, and they make it smart. You'll be set up for success and in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. Turnkey becomes your IT department and help with all your daily IT issues, plus preventative steps to keep your business going. Have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems, even if you have a current IT company, so you know where you stand with your technology.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros, so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Aument, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman and Aument and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman and Aument needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 traffic center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Northbound 53, traffic is stop and go Dundee to Lake Cook, where the exit to eastbound Lake Cook is closed. Semi wrecked in the ditch. Seeing delays on eastbound I-80 from LaGrange Road to Harlem after an earlier crash. Traffic's heavy on the inbound Eden starting at Cicero. 23 minutes Lake Cook to the junction. Up on 27. Kennedy, now an hour and 2 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 30 minutes from Montrose, 26 on the Express. Dyke, an hour, 390 to downtown, 44 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to the drive. Bryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State is heavy in pockets from 95th to Ogden. Slow from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Reagan Tollway type Raymond to 355. It's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny, breezy, and a high of 28 today. Clear and bitterly cold again overnight, low of 12 above. Currently 10. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Excuse me, I'm just all, fluttered
jumpy,
over here.
Punchkis are in studio and you're a little jacked
Officer
up.
Thomas from the Elk Grove Police Department came over yesterday and gave us punchkis. Am I pronouncing it right? Punchki?
Yeah.
But if you give up sweets for Lent, you're not going to be able to partake in that box of yumminess.
That's too easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Giving up sweets is too easy? What did you give up for Lent? Or how is you going to change your behavior?
I'm going to give up locomotive erotica, I think.
Excuse me.
There is, it's great, at AmishCatholic.com, there's a list of 100 edifying Lenten penances, or lentil penances, as you would call them. And
I'm giving up lentil soup, by the way.
Some of our fun. You're giving up lentil soup for the Lenten season.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's not on the penance list at AmishCatholic.com, but we'll get to those.
Okay.
And thank you to the Elk Grove Police Department, trying to get back to my good graces after I was.
How many times have you been?
After
stopped?
I was wrongly.
Oh, right. Oh, you wrongly ran a red light.
Well,
officer was yellow. I was at the point of no return. I couldn't reverse, so I had to go forward for safety reasons.
Come on.
That's why.
Come on. Hey, cut a guy some slack here.
They're all over the place, man.
Yeah, all right.
I've been pulled over 4 times.
All right, switching gears, we have to talk about things that are important to other people, not just ourselves and our tedious lives.
Our moving violations?
China trade deal. We're allegedly nearing a trade deal. That's been the reporting by Reuters over the weekend and into the first couple of days of the week. For more on that, are we going to finally fulfill Larry Kudlow's promise to get a China trade deal that will result in lower tariff barriers on both sides of the relationship and earn Stephen Moore and Larry Kudlow and Art Laffer the Nobel Prize in Economics?
Oh.
Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist, chief economist for CNN, joins us now. Steve, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys. And Amy, thank you for reminding me that today is Ash Wednesday.
Yes, go get your ashes.
I almost forgot that I'd given up carrots and Brussels sprouts.
Oh,
yes. Yes. You're a shining example.
It's a real sacrifice, but I think I can do it for 40 days. Anyway, on the China trade deal, look, I've said on your show for the last couple of years that Trump has got to get this trade deal done. I think it's the one thing that's been, the last big thing he's got to get done to keep the economy booming. And I'm very confident now. It looks like they have the parameters of a deal where China will be buying more of our stuff, which is a good thing. They're going to reduce their tariffs on our agriculture products, on some of our manufacturing items, on our petroleum products. That's all for the good. It'll mean more jobs for Americans. Is this a great deal? No. I think it's there's still going to be a lot of. You saw the headlines of the Wall Street Journal today about more industrial espionage going on by the Chinese. They're hacking into our computer systems. I mean, these are some bad people over there. So I think this is the first step, but I think the markets are going to be very, very pleased by this deal. Mm-hmm. I think the economy now, I think this, if he can get it done, I think it almost guarantees his reelection. But there's still a long way to go, by the way, because, one thing when I talk to the negotiators on our side who are dealing with the Chinese, they say you just can't trust these people. They don't keep their word. They say they'll agree to one thing, and the next day they do just the opposite. So you got to move back to the Reagan philosophy of trust but verify, and you're going to have parameters where if China doesn't do what they say they're going to do, they get hit with additional tariffs. Incidentally, one thing I don't know the answer to is whether Trump is going to keep the current 10% tariff on China, and I've heard different stories from different people who are involved in those negotiations. Trump does not want to take the 10% tariff off China. He thinks it's a kind of creating a level playing field. But at least it looks like they're not going to get a hit with the 25% tariff, which would have been a killer.
Well, do you think he should take the 10% tariff off?
Good question. I'm kind of undecided about it. Look, China is, as I said, they're a really big actor. I mean, they are stealing our technologies every day, and our patents, our computer software, our copyrights, our drugs, our vaccines, and maybe holding that out there and saying, look, when we see that you're actually making progress in terms of actually paying us, American companies, for the intellectual property, then we start ratcheting down that tariff. So we'll see what happens with that. But look, a 25%, what I think the reason China has come to the negotiating table here, is willing to make compromises, is their growth rate has slowed. I mean, it's been cut officially to 6.5%, but we know they lie by about 5%, right? So it's closer to probably 1 or 2%. Their economy is really struggling, and they've got to they've got to avoid this 25% tariff. So I'm pretty confident that this is going to get done. It'll be a big, big victory for Trump.
I wanted to get your reaction here locally to something Governor Pritzker said, and you're a former Illinois resident.
I'm denying that these days, but I am.
Well, I know. Not to
you could brag that you got out.
Not to mention you.
I mean, I don't know if you guys realize that Illinois and New Jersey and Connecticut have become laughing stocks. I mean, they really have. I mean, it's really sad.
We're well aware
you're
of
the
it,
butt of all the jokes.
Yes, no, we're painfully aware of it. We make most of the jokes. Pritzker said there are several reasons people are leaving Illinois, right? Only 2 states in the last decade have lost population, West Virginia and Illinois. So why are they leaving? Here's what Governor Pritzker says. Several reasons. One is we've been significantly underfunding education in the state. And one of the reasons... and one of the reasons that... No, wait, let me finish.
He's not done.
One of the reasons that business and jobs get created in the state is because it has great talent and it invests in the talent. So that's why people are leaving.
I'm only
He's a
laughing
funny guy, Pritzker.
I mean, what does Chicago spend now? Like $20,000 per student or something for the worst schools in the country? I mean, anybody who thinks that the problem is you're not spending enough money on your schools is smoking something. And I don't know.
That's going to be legal here too.
Yet?
Yeah.
So wait, he said a couple reasons. One was you're underfunding education. What was the other one?
The other reason, I mean, it's a spending problem, as you would suspect. We're not continuing to invest in the talent that we need. So, you know what else?
You need more government spending.
Right, we need more government spending. So you lose people. I'm quoting him. We lose people because when you don't fund universities and when you threaten not to fund a MAP program, grant program, it turns out young people choose to go to school elsewhere and then they live elsewhere. So we're underfunding K through 12 education. We're underfunding universities. That's why people are leaving.
You know, if I were with Pritzker right now, I'd say, you know, Governor, why is it that in Chicago, the Catholic schools educate kids for 1/2 of the cost and provide better results? I'd love to hear his answer to that. Wait, you know, do you have an answer to that? How could that be? They spend half as much money and they get better results.
And we're spending money we don't have.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to quickly...
Wait. Also, too, there's something else going on, just since he brought up universities. The University of Illinois, where you're a graduate of the University of Illinois, Steve Moore, in case you didn't know, second highest in-state tuition in the Big Ten behind only Penn State. It turns out Illinois subsidizes higher ed at twice the national average, which only serves to what? Inflate tuition costs. And that's why state and colleges and universities in Illinois are higher than just about all their conference peers.
You're exactly right. Look, I've said this on your show many times, I'll say it again. The single biggest scam in America is how much universities are charging middle-class families. It's bankrupting families. The kids are graduating from college with $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 of debt. What needs to be done, you know, if I were governor of Illinois, maybe I'll come back and run for governor.
Please do.
You need to have somebody start looking under the hood of how these universities are spending the money. The average tenured professor at University of Illinois teaches 4 hours a week. 4 hours a week. You could easily, you let me at it, guys. I could cut the tuition at the University of Illinois in half and not diminish the quality of the education one iota. I'd require the professors to teach. I'd get rid of all the other crap that they're spending money on that has nothing to do with education quality. I would require, you know what I'd do? I'd require every student at the University of Illinois to work 10 hours a week. And you know, and maybe we could like lower the cost. Oh my gosh, how could we require a 19 or 20-year-old to work? You know, do those kinds of things. We can reduce the cost significantly. But I'll tell you this: when I went to University of Illinois back in 1982, my tuition was $1,000 a semester. What is it now? $10,000 a semester, something like that.
Yeah, it's close to that. Yeah.
So
it's about
it's gone
16
up
grand
tenfold.
all in. Yeah.
It's gone down tenfold in 30 years.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Here, I got some good news for you, though, out of Illinois.
I mean, how do you explain that? A tenfold increase in tuition in 30 years? Nothing has gone up like that.
It's gotten 10 times better, that's how.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I got some good news for you, though. I know this is very popular with you, and this comes from the Wall Street Journal. High-speed rail, we're on the path in Illinois to cut the train trip from Chicago to St. Louis by an hour, by a full hour, and it only is going to cost us $2 billion.
Yeah, I mean, high-speed rail has been a failure everywhere it has been put in place. You saw what happened in California, by the way. They already spent like $4 or $5 billion on the high-speed rail system, and they finally said this ain't working, and they've stopped building it after spending billions of dollars. Look, high-speed rail just isn't the future in America. It's well, the problem is we're not going to have planes anymore.
Oh, yeah,
that's the problem, right? Because you're not going to be able to fly from Chicago to St. Louis anymore because Alexander Cortez is going to get rid of the.
Yeah, I heard your buddy Larry Kudlow at CPAC ripping on the new Green Deal. That was pretty funny.
Oh, it was great. Kudlow was great.
Yeah, and also speaking of Kudlow, I think he's on the list. Are you one of the 81 people or entities that have to submit a response within 2 weeks with this? Probe into President Trump and his inner circle?
I somehow I dodged that bullet.
Oh.
Right.
So
we'll see if we can get you on the list. Yeah, we'll see. We'll call Jerry Nadler. I will say that I thought that what happened, with that Cohen testimony, which was about a week ago, was maybe the most disgraceful thing I've ever seen in 30 years. Not saying a lot in Washington, but to put a criminal, to put someone who's a perjurer, to put a scumbag in front of the American people and let them crap all over the president for 4 hours. I mean, do these Democrats have no shame whatsoever? It was really a new low point. And by the way, since when did we just do away with attorney-client privilege? Everything that Trump told Cohen is privileged information. Where are the civil libertarians on the left who used to care about this kind of stuff? He is Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist, chief economist for CNN, U of I grad. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a great week.
And
Take care.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America one life at a time.
I drive Lyft, and every once in a while I just mention this, and I say, I can only speak for me. I can't say how it's going to make somebody else feel, but for me, this has been the single biggest change for me for anything that I've taken. I've tried, smoothie diets and all kinds of stuff, but this really seems to work.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself by using discount code CHICAGO. The price of fruits and vegetables is going up. Call now to see how you can lock in your price of fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, guess what's happening this weekend? We're going to spring ahead. We're going to lose an hour of sleep, and you need sleep, and you need to eat a balanced diet in order to stay healthy and boost your immune system. And if you can't get all the fruits and veggies that you should on a daily basis, may I suggest taking Balance of Nature? 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies in a single capsule. No preservatives. And I know you've heard the testimonials here on AM 560. Maybe you're skeptical, but I can tell you this. I met Dr. Douglas Howard, his wife, and his son. They showed me the emails. They played the voicemails that he receives from happy and satisfied users of Balance of Nature. So get healthy by ordering Balance of Nature. And don't wait another day. Try it now before you get sick. Because Balance of Nature, they say, helps boost your immune system. And right now you can get 20% off by using the promo code Chicago. Go to mybalanceofnature.com. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Chicago, or call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751.
Hey, cybercriminals stole the W-2 forms from my friend's company.
Yeah, scammers impersonate CEOs in email and also launch attacks from compromised accounts.
What if they target us?
Don't worry. We have Barracuda Total Email Protection.
So we're secured?
Yes. Barracuda protects businesses of all sizes with artificial intelligence that blocks spear phishing, account takeover attempts, and business email compromise.
That's a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why can't more things in life be customizable? Why can't I buy Neapolitan ice cream without strawberry? Can't I just have the chocolate and vanilla flavors I'm comfortable with? Do people even want a fruity ice cream flavor sandwiched right between the classics?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
Hey, want to win a free mortgage payment? That's right, a free mortgage payment. Then you need to enter Team Hochberg's free mortgage payment sweepstakes. If you own a primary residence in Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, or Iowa, Team Hochberg wants to pay your mortgage. And I'm not making this up. Team Hochberg wants to pay your mortgage. Entry is free, and you can't win Team Hochberg's free mortgage payment sweepstakes if you don't register at 56davidwin.com. That's 56davidwin.com. All the rules can be found at 56david.com/sweepstakes rules. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Stop what you're doing and register to win a free mortgage payment at 56davidwin.com. If you want to work with a lender who will always look out for your financial best interests, like paying your mortgage payment, call Team Hochberg now. 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-56-DAVID, or go to 56david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but they can't pay your mortgage if you don't register at 56davidwin.com. Homeside Financial, equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee, MB6, section 1, NMLS 11.
Not sure that fulfills the legal requirement.
1124061. Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the Lasik Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the Lasik Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text TRY to 350-350. The Lasik Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The Lasik Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text TRY to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's TRY to 350-350.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How about this? Border at the breaking point, 11-year high in migrants crossing the border without authorization in February. That's the New York Times reporting. So are we getting close to the evidentiary support we need for Trump's national emergency claim? We'll ask David Harsani at 8:08.
And have you decided yet what you're giving up for Lent? If not, Dan Proft has some suggestions. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Fire at a Chicago elementary school. Sun-Times cancels a mayoral debate. Governor Pritzker right now will not be bailing out Western Illinois University. Bulls lost to the Pacers. Blackhawks host the Sabres tomorrow. The Bears release linebacker Sam Acho. Sunny and breezy in your forecast today. Will top out at 28 with a low of 12 overnight. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Will Kim Jong-un be Rocket Man again? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. There are reports citing satellite images. North Korea is rebuilding and restoring a long-range rocket launch site. A week ago, President Trump walked away from talks without a nuclear agreement. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, National Security Advisor John Bolton says North Korea needs to decide whether it's serious about talks with the U.S. and committed to giving up its nuclear ambitions, telling the Fox Business Network.
They came to Hanoi thinking that this administration would buy the same pony that they've sold to previous administrations, that we would accept a partial deal in exchange for very significant lifting of sanctions.
Bolton says the administration may ramp up sanctions against Pyongyang, while he stressed President Trump is still willing to make a deal. Dave.
Rachel Michael Cohen will be back at the Capitol this hour. The ex-Trump lawyer who publicly called the president a con man and a cheat last week will talk in private with the House Intelligence Committee. The president, meanwhile, is firing back at House Democrats, ramping up investigations into corruption, abuse of power, and obstruction of justice.
They want to do that instead of getting legislation passed. 81 people or organizations got letters. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to our country.
Next hour, the heads of Homeland Security and Customs and Border Protection will testify at two different hearings at the House and Senate.
We know that this is a crisis, not just a national security, but a humanitarian crisis. 54% increase in unaccompanied children coming across this border.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders on Fox and Friends. The administration also says there's been a 300% surge in illegal immigrant family separations apprehensions this fiscal year, but Democrats disagree. There's a crisis. Senator Richard Blumenthal calls the president's attempt to build more wall
a useless, reckless vanity project.
Some Senate Republicans will join Democrats and vote to block the president's national emergency declaration and then veto it. This is Fox News.
Sunshine, 10 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Singer R. Kelly calling the allegations against him of sexually abusing underage girls not true after sitting down for an interview with CBS This Morning's Gayle King. Meantime, Kelly could soon be headed back to the Cook County Jail if he doesn't pay up a $161,000 child support payment. Sun-Times says he had not made any payments ordered by a judge as of last night. Chicago police are shutting down a private Southside club, the scene of a shooting that wounded 6 over the weekend. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson ordered the emergency closure. Authorities have begun investigating whether that club has any ties to gangs or organized crime. No one hurt following a fire yesterday at an elementary school on Chicago's northwest side. The blaze broke out last night. The cause is under investigation. Students at that school will be attending classes at Taft High School today. Governor J.B. Pritzker says he wants to send more money to all universities in the state, but there will not be enough to stop the massive round of pink slips at Western Illinois University. The governor told reporters in Peoria that he's aware of the latest round of 130-plus layoffs at WIU, but there's nothing in the budget to stop those layoffs. Pacers over the Bulls, 105-96 last night. Bears are parting ways with linebacker and veteran Sam Acho. He missed the final 12 games of last season after suffering a torn pec muscle in Week 4. College hoops, a Horizon League tournament action. UIC lost to Wisconsin Green Bay 82-77. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Carlos Ghosn is free, released on nearly $9 million bail. The former Nissan CEO left a Tokyo jail disguised as a workman in a blue cap with a mask on his face. Under the terms of his release, he cannot communicate with people outside Japan by phone or computer. He's awaiting trial on financial misconduct charges. Ghosn says he will vigorously defend himself. Fewer people were applying for a mortgage last week. The Mortgage Bankers Association says interest rates were slightly slightly higher, and both applications for home buying and refinancing declined. Vitamin and health store GNC is reporting a weaker than expected winter quarter. GPS company TomTom is supplying navigation services to Jeep for its Renegade and Compass hybrid electric vehicles. TomTom also recently announced a multi-year contract with Volkswagen. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
And you know my beverage of choice is tequila.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Per doctor's orders, no lie. I went in to have a doctor's appointment a couple years ago, telling my doctor about my tummy, my gut issues. He said, how about tequila? He said, tequila's better for your stomach. And swear to God, true story. Now, that was about 2 years ago. Son of a gun, I love it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
If your company has a 401k plan, you should know that in 2017 alone, the Department of Labor assessed damages of over $682 million against more than 65% of the business 401k plans it investigated. This represents an average monetary demand from the officers of over $600,000, excluding legal costs and time answering to the federal government. For a limited time, the accredited investment fiduciaries of Clear Financial Strategies are offering AM 560 listeners a fiduciary review of their business 401k plan. Don't be a victim of potential neglect by your current providers. For the greatly reduced price of $250, owners and officers can have peace of mind knowing the level of fiduciary compliance of their plan. Call now to take advantage of this limited time, no obligation offer. For your company's fiduciary review, call 855-972-9564. That's 855-972-9564, or visit clearfinancialstrategies.com.
All money managers might seem the same, but while some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios, Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in or nearing retirement, talk with us and find out why investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments. Clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
It's 8:07. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Northbound 53 traffic remains stuffed up from Dundee to Lake Cook, where the exit to eastbound Lake Cook is closed after a flatbed semi wrecked into the ditch. Eastbound I-80 with delays, 355 for Parker with a crash, and LaGrange Road to Harlem after an earlier collision. Edens runs 22 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose Kennedy, an hour and 13 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. It's quicker than the Express. Eisenhower, an hour, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to the loop. I-57, 28 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishopport, 38. Eastbound Reagan Tollway, it's heavy from the Fox River to Yackley. Northbound Veterans Memorial, Fountain to the Reagan Tollway, and Army Trail to 290. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Breezy day today, sunshine, high 28. It'll be partly cloudy, bitter cold tonight, low 12. Clouds and cold tomorrow, the high again 28. Cloudy, not as cold Friday, the high on Friday at 38. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
10 and sunshine at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So the resolution to condemn anti-Semitism has been pushed off a day, as Mike Scott reported in his news. Democrats can't seem to agree on opposition to anti-Semitism, I guess, on chastising newly minted member of the Gang of Three, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, and Ilhan Omar, the Democrat from Minnesota, who continues her penchant for anti-Semitic rhetoric because, you know, she's an anti-Semite. Chuck Todd.
I'm Chuck Todd.
I remember, I'm old enough to remember when we were supposed to take the host of Meet the Press seriously.
Oh, right. Tim Russert, remember?
Rest in peace. Those days are long
Even David
gone.
Gregory, I miss him.
Well, that's a statement. Chuck Todd, he's got this segment on, I don't know, MSNBC, I guess. I'm obsessed with ellipsis. I'm obsessed with ... And as I fill in the blank, I'm obsessed with? What an odd term for a commentary. Obsessed with. But he's obsessed with being opposed to discrimination against Jewish people. He's obsessed with being anti-Semitic. But everybody's to blame, of course. Society's to blame, not just Representative Omar.
Welcome back tonight. I'm obsessed with the rise of anti-Semitism and the game of whataboutism being played now by both parties. Stop it. You both have a problem. The House will vote tomorrow on a resolution to condemn anti-Semitism. It's a defensive measure by Democrats, prompted by not one, but two remarks by the freshman Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Last month, she tweeted that the reluctance of lawmakers to criticize Israel was, quote, all about the Benjamins. In other words, money. And on Friday, she said, I want to talk about the political influence in this country that says it is okay to push for an allegiance to a foreign country. Code for Israel. By trafficking in two historical anti-Semitic tropes, Jews are money obsessed and they have dual loyalties, Omar opened the door for Republicans to point fingers and say, aha, the left has a problem with anti-Semitism. And you know what? It does. But unless you want to forget the chance of Jews will not replace us by neo-Nazis in Charlottesville, unless you want to forget President Trump saying there were good people on both sides of that debate, unless you want to forget the synagogue slaughter in Pittsburgh last year, unless you want to forget all of that, you have to acknowledge that the right has a problem with anti-Semitism too. Both sides are doing a lot of finger pointing, and there's a lot to point to. Isn't that sad? Anti-Semitism is on the rise. On the left, it's on the rise. On the right, it's on the rise. In Europe and a lot of other places. So let's not pretend it's on the rise in just the other political party.
It's on the rise. What is...
Okay. I guess I'm a little confused. The Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, was that a Republican member of Congress? The neo-Nazis in Charlottesville, were those members of Congress? Were those party standard bearers? I think he's mixing some apples with oranges. But for more on this and a couple of other topics, we're pleased to be joined again by David Harsanyi, senior editor for TheFederalist.com. His book on guns, First Freedom, A Ride Through America's Enduring History with the Gun from the Revolution to Today. David, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So can you give us your reaction to what Chuck Todd had to say about anti-Semitism and the everybody's doing it problem that he's identified?
Well, my honest reaction would not be okay for public airways, I think. But I can't even believe that someone, or Meet the Press, I forgot what his title is. It's some howdy-towdy title, that he believes comparing fringe neo-Nazis, which there are a few hundred of in this country who gather occasionally, to an elected member, not only an elected member of Congress, but someone who sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee of the House, who's put there by Nancy Pelosi, who will have a say in American policy, are somehow comparable. It's just ridiculous. And but this is what they do. Remember, whataboutism used to be something we should avoid, but now it's an easy way to sort of brush aside really something serious that's going on within the Democratic Party, and it's not just in Congress, it's in their activist wing and the Women's March and elsewhere, something that's really mirroring what went on in Europe and mirrors what's gone on with the hard left and anti-Semitism throughout history, actually.
Well, do you think Congresswoman Omar should be taken off the Foreign Affairs Committee at the very least?
Yeah, I'm against this resolution because it means nothing. First of all, the resolution itself is a joke. It goes through all sorts of, past anti-Semitic, incidents in the United States and so on, but it doesn't actually mention her. It doesn't actually change anything. And now I know they included, other hatreds like Islamophobia, because when we're talking about Jews, we have to talk about other things as well for some reason. So it does nothing. The only thing Pelosi can do, I think, would be to take her off the committee. But she was just on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine with Omar. I'm not sure who's fooling who here. She is. Yeah, whole show people are still pro-Israel, but there is a contingent on the left that is very anti-Israel, and she's placating them.
This story in the New York Times yesterday, and I'm sort of stunned that it was New York Times reporting, particularly after their expose in McAllen, Texas over the weekend. More than 76,000 migrants crossed the border without authorization in February, an 11-year high, and a strong sign that stepped-up prosecutions, new controls on asylum, and harsher detention policies, have not reversed what remains a powerful lure for thousands of families fleeing violence and poverty. Wow. So that combined with their newfound evidence of violence and human trafficking and the abuse of women in places like McAllen, Texas, New York Times reporting, are we starting to get to a point where the evidentiary support for Trump's national emergency claim is reaching critical mass?
In a political sense, yes, I think it's true. I mean, anyone who says that there's not a problem down there, it's just not being honest. Now, how big the problem is, we can debate that, and we can also debate whether Trump's, the way Trump's going about it is the appropriate way. I don't think it is, though. Democrats are making it very difficult for anyone to try to do anything at the border in any other way. But obviously there's a problem down there. And just because, I've heard this argument over and over again that, 10 years ago it was worse. Well, it doesn't, I always bring up, gun violence is down too over 10 years. It doesn't mean it's still not a problem. Whether it's emergency, I don't really even know how to define that sort of thing. But these New York Times stories, I think there was one in the Post as well, Washington Post recently, make the case for Donald Trump.
Going further on the topic, the Republican Congress, you've got some senators that are resisting the call for national emergency. So do you think that this ends up being something that creates real consternation in Republican ranks in Congress vis-a-vis the president? Or is it something where you're going to have a few senators, Tillis, Murkowski, Collins, Rand Paul, make a stand, depart with the president on this one, but ultimately he overrides them, it's litigated, it's a campaign issue for 2020, and everybody moves on? I guess my point is, how much of a fissure does this have the potential to cause in GOP ranks?
Not much, and I think maybe Rand Paul and maybe another one or two are making a sort of taking an idealistic position that they actually believe in. Others just, are taking a political position that's convenient for them. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I do think courts will step in as they do with everything Trump does, and will be litigated and will be an issue. And I'm not sure it's a losing issue for Donald Trump either. I think people underestimate how important or how mad people are about what's going on at the border. And it's not just about immigration. It's about lawlessness. Democrats basically are now often making the case that the borders themselves are somehow immoral. Walls are immoral. Beto O'Rourke wants to tear down the walls that already exist, and a lot of people see lawlessness and they think it's unfair. My own parents are immigrants, so they think it's unfair what's going on. So I think it's a bigger issue than Democrats want to believe, and they're sort of radicalized on it lately, I think, probably because of Trump, but also because it's just sort of what the activist wing believes. How
did you react to Trump's framing, essentially effective framing or brainstorming as to the framing of the 2020 race in his speech at CPAC over the weekend? Just basically sort of a freedom versus socialism binary, and support for the claim of socialism infecting the Democrat Party by mostly ridiculing the Green New Deal.
I am not a huge Trump fan. I think we've spoken about that. But whenever he does that, I want to grab one of those red hats. I am very excited when I hear him say that, I think he said it at during the State of the Union as well. that this will never be a socialist country. We're born free, we'll live free, et cetera, et cetera. I love that. I think Democrats are and have become socialistic and embrace, in many ways, at least on three sectors of the economy that I can think of. One, it basically controls the means of production. So I have a trouble, I've always called them liberals because that's what they want to be called, but I'm having more and more trouble actually saying that. I don't think there's anything liberal about the contemporary Democratic Party. And they are making it, I don't know, obviously I don't predict that Trump will win in 2020, but they are giving him a case. I think that's a very strong one for a lot of people to embrace. And yeah, so I thought the CPAC speech was excellent, actually. I mean, I didn't listen to the whole 2 hours or whatever it was, but Castro-esque time on that speech. But I did enjoy a lot of the outtakes and the people there. I was at CPAC. I thought it was kind of a low-energy CPAC, to be honest. And but that speech looked like he was having a lot of fun. And I think he does something, and he connects with people in a way that elites sort of dismiss, but they shouldn't, obviously.
Yeah, I think you're going to hear the, honey, is the wind blowing outside? I want to watch TV. I think you're going to hear that riff again and again.
I love that the Washington Post fact-checked all those jokes he was making. It's very important.
He is David Harsanyi, senior editor for TheFederalist.com. His book, First Freedom, A Ride Through America's Enduring History with the Gun from the Revolution to Today. David, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Darling, is the wind blowing today? I'd like to watch television, darling.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Varicose and spider veins. Wow, what a gift from my mom. She had them, I got them, and not only are they uncomfortable and sometimes painful, but I stopped wearing skirts and shorts because I was embarrassed and I really hated the way my legs looked. When my kids asked me, "What are those things on your legs?" I was done. I finally went to Vein Clinics of America. The procedure took about an hour and I was right back to work. What they're doing with lasers these days is unbelievable. The staff made me feel so comfortable, and the results, well, even my husband has noticed. Vein Clinics of America has been treating vein disease for over 35 years. They're the largest and most experienced in the U.S. Look, I've been doing the commercials for Vein Clinics for years because I really believe in them, and you can trust them too. The best part, my insurance covered the procedure, so stop hiding your legs. Call Vein Clinics of America now to see if you qualify for a free consultation. Call 800-375-8900, 800-375-8900. That's 800-375-8900.
Coming up, what are you giving up for Lent? Or more importantly, what should I give up for Lent?
Oh, it's all about you.
That's right. You're probably not thinking about back to school season right now. In fact, most parents with kids in school are more likely to be thinking about spring break. But now's the best time to think about where you'll be sending your son or daughter to school this fall. It's a big decision. You may have felt like private school simply wasn't in the budget for your family previously. Well, think again. We want to tell you about halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from across Chicagoland offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. Find a school near you. Purchase the tuition voucher. Prepare to send your child off to school this fall. It's that simple. Halfpriceschools.com has schools located across Chicagoland, including St. Paul's Lutheran in Brookfield, Kingswood Academy in Darien, Faith Evangelical Lutheran in Antioch, Westminster Christian in Elgin, Midwestern Christian Academy on the northwest side of the city, and Kankakee Trinity in Kankakee. Make private school affordable for your family for the first time this year. These vouchers will sell out, so visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
You've put a lot of energy into building your business over the years and now are thinking about selling. It's time for a long, well-deserved vacation. But how much is your business worth? Or maybe you're ready to get to work and invest in an established business to make it your own. Are you acquiring the business at fair market value? Either way, you're going to need help in a bunch of different aspects of the deal. Elite Business Brokerage is there with you for every step of the process. They provide company valuation services and represent investors and other interested parties in the sale and purchase of businesses. You'll get professional consultation from in-house certified public accountants, legal advisors, and tax experts to make sure your deal is done right. They can even help with business succession planning and an exit strategy. Elite Business Brokerage in Countryside for professional and experienced representation in the sale and purchase of businesses. They also offer digital marketing services to drive customers and clients to your website. Get more info at elitebusinessbrokerage.com. That's elitebusinessbrokerage.com.
For more than 50 years, Mueller CPA, a certified public accounting and business advisory firm, has been serving clients in Chicagoland. Dave Nissen, Mueller's managing partner, is here to explain Mueller CPA's history, journey, and opportunity.
Thanks, Dan. Our firm was started by Al Mueller as a one-person CPA firm in 1968. Through growth and partnerships, Mueller CPA has blossomed from a regional firm to an organization that provides services worldwide. Mueller is a reflection of our years of listening and caring for our clients, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for our professionals and support personnel. We value the human side of our business and recognize it as being the most important element of our success. We are growing, we are hiring, and we welcome your interest in our firm.
If you are looking for your first opportunity or your forever career, join an award-winning team that cares about you. Visit the career page at MuellerCPA.com or call Dave directly at 630-524-5274.
AM 560, The Answer.
So for the Lenten season, for Lent, or lentil as it's known in Amy's church, you can give up something for 40 days. You can also do something for 40 days, or you can do both. And we're
I
just
think I'll volunteer.
You're going to volunteer?
I'm just kidding. I do every day.
Well,
helping shape young lives, Dan. What are you doing with your free time?
Well, I mean, we were just talking about this. One of the things, so I'm not so, white bread, so milk toasty, so white shadowish, is get a nickname.
A moniker? What do you want?
Well, I was thinking maybe I'll steal Poppy Harlow's and just be Poppy Proft. And I just think it gives you more flavor, texture.
Well, it gives you some street cred, yeah. Poppy Proft is here.
Yeah. I mean, I could go with my basketball nickname, but then...
Oh, wait, what's your basketball nickname?
That would... I don't think that would help.
No. I need to know what your basketball nickname is.
I can't tell you that.
No, come on.
No, I can't. I'm taking suggestions for nicknames. I'm also taking suggestions for what to give up for Lent or what to do during Lent and what you are giving up and or doing. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. There's a lot of good ideas if you're struggling like I am.
I know what I'm doing.
At theamishcatholic.com, which I believe is a relative of the Amish texter. I'm not so sure. You are doing what?
I'm giving up French fries.
French fries.
And Friday Uber Eats here.
How often do you... I know how often you pay for Uber Eats on Friday. That's never.
No, once a month.
So that'll be easy to give up.
Well, I'm good for once a month.
Mm-hmm. And
get a paycheck. You guys are expensive.
How often do you eat fries?
A lot.
Like how often? Like how many times a week?
Oh, 4 or 5 times
you
a
week.
week.
Eat French fries 4 or 5 times a week, and you're rail thin.
No, I'm not. I'm packing on the pounds.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more like you.
Oh, my gosh.
But no. I'm just saying, well, things shift when you get older and you gain weight, But now that I'm taking Balance of Nature, watch out, okay?
Always be closing.
I'm going to grow up here.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, but I'm giving up French fries.
All right, I
for
guess
40 days.
that sounds like it.
That's a bit of a sacrifice for me.
Here's some suggestions. Giving up naughty films from the Amish Catholic. I suppose you shouldn't be watching those.
No, you shouldn't be.
Let's see. Giving up various soft cheeses. I do like my cheese. Give up lobster, though not on Fridays, of course.
Okay, right.
Give up spy novels. Give up your longstanding telenova addiction. Sure. Give up learning Esperanto. I'm sticking with that.
Ron from Berwyn is giving up hoarding.
Yeah.
Okay. Good
All
luck
right.
with that. I mean, you can use that time to cleanse and
giving up professional sports. We don't have any of those in Chicago, so that's easy. Playing, not even attending.
Oh.
Yeah. Give up toast. Give up writing emoji haikus. Give up on romance. Give up on romantic comedies. Give up your seat on the train to Timbuktu. A lot of good ideas. I don't know if they rise to the standard of real sacrifice, but they're ideas. It's a conversation starter.
Well, what should Dan Proft give up for Lent or do during Lent? 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then
You know what I was thinking about, actually, and it
What?
was inspired by the conversation we had with that Gizmodo columnist from a few weeks ago who gave up the big 5 each for a week and then all 5 in week 6 and then wrote about how it changed her life. So Netflix, Amazon, Facebook,
Twitter.
Google, and Microsoft.
Yeah, you're not doing that.
Well,
Because
if
the show needs you. And you can't just say,
Well, but I
I'll
could
just do it
do
for
it for work.
No,
Yeah, why not?
Because that's not giving it up. because things that you tweet out generate talk topics and ideas and gets the conversation started. So that's not going to work, Mr. Proft.
Well, that
or
would be
Poppy Proft, as you'd like to be called.
Yeah, Poppy Proft.
What's your basketball nickname? Thunder? Bounder?
Thunder.
What is it?
No, that was
Drive in the lane? I mean, what are you?
Yeah, that was when I was a male
Baseline
dancer.
shop?
That was my nickname. EJ in Rockford, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, I was just to suggest that the people rushing the border are not giving up anything for Lent because they all look too well fed to be poverty stricken.
Okay, right. Thanks for the call, EJ.
A little bit, just a tinge of racism.
Yeah, we're
Just
not.
a
Well,
just a dab.
No, I wouldn't say
No.
that.
Oh.
I just think you're sort of not on point here. We're
Oh.
trying to do something in furtherance of my Catholic demands. Chip in St. Charles.
Yeah, I think Dan's nickname should be T-Bone.
Yeah.
And what I think Dan should give up for Lent is Smarm.
Smarm. That's a bridge too far, Chip. Thanks for the call. I don't think I can not be smarmy for 40 days. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's like taking away your manhood. It's not going to happen.
Rick in Downers Grove.
Hey, how you guys doing? I know this works for me, but I found out for Lent, I give up giving up things, and it seems like it works pretty good.
Sure. The old double negative exception. Thanks for the call, Rick. Well played. Although God knows what you're doing, Rick. Tim in Woodstock.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Hey, I would encourage you or anybody. I've been trying something just for a couple weeks. Is just give up added sugars to your diet. Anything with natural, with the sugar in it, fruit, whatever is
Yeah.
fine. I guarantee you may not lose weight rapidly, but you will begin to lose weight. But the main thing for me is that I've noticed is you'll feel actually more energetic because
All right.
your body won't be relying on a sugar high.
Thanks for the call, Tim. Why does everybody think I need to lose weight, by the way?
Well, it's not that, I mean...
Here's one for you. Give up treating your children better than your cats. How about that? All right. I'll still think about it. I'm also not going with T-Bone. That's taken.
I have uncovered your nickname. By the way.
What's that?
What is it?
What is it?
You want to guess?
Well, you contacted
The
Bennett.
sesquipedalian.
Oh, sesquipedalian. It's true. Yeah,
It is true.
Is that another word with prof?
Hey, Sess, give me the ball.
It's easier to pronounce than Anakumpo.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, we're going to talk to, this is an incredible story. John Ponder is the founder of Hope for Prisoners, a habitual criminal until the age of 38, and then an FBI agent who arrested him, changed his life. We'll have his story and his work at 8:38.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Mike Scott, what did you give up for Lent? Or is that personal? Or are you thinking about it right now?
Still pondering that.
Okay, well, good luck with that.
Thank you. Blue skies
God
and
bless you.
10 degrees. He's back on Capitol Hill this morning. Michael Cohen arriving to make a follow-up appearance before the House Intelligence Committee. A massive uptick in migrants crossing into the U.S., threatening to overwhelm federal agents and government facilities at the southwest border. The NTSB says that black box from the cargo plane that crashed into the bay near Houston last month reveals a total loss of control about 18 seconds before it went down. 3 died when that Atlas airplane crashed on February 23rd. A man is due in court today after being charged in a crash that killed a 2-year-old girl over the weekend on Chicago's far south side. Donnell Davis faces multiple charges. Police commanders in Dixon telling parents they're aware of a threat to a local middle school there about 90 miles west of Chicago, but they don't think that there is any danger. There are several police officers on hand this morning at the Ronald Reagan Middle School, just in case. But again, Dixon police say they do not believe the threat is credible. Snack lovers rejoice. On Ash Wednesday, it's also National Oreo Cookie Day, giving you an excuse, maybe, to eat some in honor of the best-selling cookie of all time, except my wife's chocolate chip cookies. Pacers over the Bulls, 105-96. Cubs fell to the Angels in Tempe. Also in spring ball, the White Sox lost a pair in split squad action. The news service of accountants finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. Accountants can help with Accountants' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors. You can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
And you know my beverage of choice is tequila.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Per doctor's orders, no lie. I went in to have a doctor's appointment a couple years ago, telling my doctor about my tummy, my gut issues. He said, how about tequila? He said, tequila's better for your stomach. And swear to God, true story. Now, that was about 2 years ago. Son of a gun, I love it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
My name is David Hochberg at Team Hochberg. If you own a primary residence in Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, or Iowa, Team Hochberg wants to pay your mortgage. You heard me. Team Hochberg wants to pay your mortgage. No strings attached, but you can't win Team Hochberg's free mortgage payment sweepstakes if you don't register at 56davidwin.com. You have to be 21, beyond the mortgage, and can only enter once. The rules can be found at 56davidwin.com. What are you waiting for? Go to 56davidwin.com now to register to win a free mortgage payment. If you want to work with a lender who will always look out for your financial best interest, call Team Hochberg now at 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't pay your mortgage if you don't register at 56davidwin.com. Homeside Financial Legal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License, MB 6761019, NMLS 1124061.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
8:37 and a check on the roads in the AM 560 traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Northbound 53 has delays from Rand Road to Lake Cook, but the ramp to eastbound Lake Cook has reopened. Southbound 53, traffic is a bit heavy around Kirchhoff. Northbound Veterans Memorial, stop and go bout to the Reagan Tollway after the Army Trail toll to 290. It's about Reagan Tollway, there's a jam. Fox River Bridge to Eola. Eden's 21 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Inbound Kennedy, the jam starts at Austin. It is an hour and 12 minutes, so here to downtown. No savings down the Express. Eisenhower, an hour and a half. 390 to downtown, an hour 10 from Manheim. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 35 minutes. 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 43 minutes. 8094 to the Merge. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, sunny, breezy, 28 today. Still bitterly cold overnight, a low of 12. Currently 11. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. This next guest is the product of a remarkable story. He was honored by President Trump at last year's National Day of Prayer. President Trump sang, I'm quoting from President Trump's remarks, he talked about the importance of God. Nothing is more powerful than God, said Trump. With us today is a living reminder of this truth. His name is John Ponder from Las Vegas. John grew up without his father, as he tells it. My mother was strong, but she wasn't able to keep us out of the gangs and off the streets. John was in and out of jail for years until at age 38 he was arrested for bank robbery. And then Trump joked, "You don't look like a bank robber." Yeah. He's come a long way. John ended up in federal prison, relegated to solitary confinement. That's where God found him. John began to read the Bible and listen to Christian radio. One morning at 2 a.m., he woke up to the voice of the great Billy Graham. Reverend Graham's words came through the airwaves. Jesus wants to be the Lord of your life. That night, John dedicated his life to Christ. He spent the rest of his time in prison praying, studying the Bible, and bringing the Lord to his fellow inmates. The day after his release, a visitor knocked on his door. It was the man who put him in jail, FBI Special Agent Richard Beasley, who was also in attendance at this National Day of Prayer. He told John, this FBI agent, "I want you to know I've been praying for you very strongly, and God called me to the FBI in part because of you, John." The two then became lifelong friends. Since that time, John founded a ministry called Hope for Prisoners, and he has helped more than 2,000 former inmates rejoin society. We are happy to welcome John Ponder, founder and CEO of Hope for Prisoners. John, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so very much for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
So, I don't know how much detail we need on your story from, in addition to what President Trump laid out last year, but what is it that Hope for Prisoners does that wasn't being done? I think of like Chuck Colson's organization in terms of prison ministry, but obviously the work that Hope for Prisoners doing is filling a niche that wasn't being filled.
That is correct. Our approach is in reentry is from a holistic approach. We work with men, women, young adults that are exiting every arena of our judicial system, state or federal prison, city, county jails, drug rehabs, and things of that nature. And what we do is provide supportive services to help men and women as they transition out, not only get acclimated back into workplaces, but we make sure there are mechanisms in place that once they get inside the workplace, they can be afforded opportunities to thrive and grow and be able to succeed. We address the needs for them to get acclimated back into the family. See, that's been a missed mark of reentry since forever. No one's ever given the particular strong emphasis on the men and women that are coming home that they need to reintegrate back into their family, going back home to wives and husbands, and particularly getting reconnected with their children. So we make sure that the mechanisms in place to help with that family reunification, because if that piece is not right, if the home life is not right, then everything else in the world has a tendency to fall apart. And the cornerstone of our success is providing 18 months of post-release supportive services, wrapping our arms around them, doing everything we can to ensure that they're being stand-up leaders in the community with an overall goal of them never, ever, ever reoffending again. So we do that through very intensive case management, post-release, and mentoring, where we've trained up over 400 men and women from our local community that serve as mentors. Now, these are pastors and leaders from churches across Southern Nevada. These are business owners and business leaders, school teachers, because education is a huge part of what we provide. Right down to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, to where our sheriff has given us an army of volunteer police officers that serve as trainers and mentors to the men and women that are coming home from prison. Never before in the history of reentry, nowhere on this planet to this magnitude has law enforcement gotten involved in mentoring and training people coming out of the prison system. And that there has caused a win-win on both sides of the equation. Because if you think about it, we're getting men and women who are coming home from the prison system to get out into the community and never reoffend again. And first of all, we have to cultivate in them an appreciation and respect for the laws and the rules and regulations of our community. We found that gets enhanced when they are in relationship with the men and women who are upholding the law. And that, if you turn the coin over to the other side as well, is working to help change the perceptions of law enforcement when dealing with this segment of the population.
So, John,
No,
it's wonderful work that you're doing, but I just want to ask about your What was your aha moment? You said you've been getting arrested since you were 12 years old, 3-time convicted felon.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to you?
Hands down, my aha moment was when I found myself in solitary confinement, and I'm facing a tremendous amount of time because of my criminal history. My first felony conviction, I'm 16 years old, and then how the federal system works, they take all that stuff into consideration, and I'm facing the possibility of spending the next 23 years of my life in prison. And I found myself in that spot, and, I cried out to God. That's where God met me inside a prison cell. I asked him to, I played Let's Make a Deal with God, right? And, asked God to go before me in the courtroom and climb into the robe of the judge. And I said that, whatever time I got coming to me, God, let that time come from you, whether it's 10 years or if it's 50 years. I told him I committed my life to serving, Jesus for the rest of my life. And unmistakably, God showed up. And I did not get what it was that I deserved. I did get prison time. I was going to prison. But, my life transformation happened in that moment when I stood in that prison cell and I asked Jesus to become the Lord of my life. And he did. And since that day, my life took a 180-degree turn in another direction. So what my calling in life is right now, since God answered my prayer, is to do everything I can to turn right back around and help the men and women who are facing those same challenges that I once had to face, who were once in bondage to those same things that I was once in bondage to do everything I can to set them free from that and to help to escort them up into a brand new life.
And with this ministry and the very interesting and sort of innovative connection of law enforcement to ex-offenders as mentors, as you were describing, what's been the experience in terms of recidivism rates?
Right. So according to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, who had come in and take a look, a criminal justice department, they came in and took a look at our data. And what they did is they took a look at 522 individuals who were considered hard to hire, who had a never-ending cycle of recidivism, coming back 3 or 4 time offenders. And of those 522 individuals they had taken a look at, they determined that 73% of those folks were successful in gaining full-time employment. 25% of those individuals were full-time employed within 17 days of graduation. And of those 522 individuals, UNLV's Criminal Justice Department determined that only 6% of those individuals returned back to the prison system. I don't think there's another reentry mechanism in the country that can say that, those are kind of statistics. But to be quite honest with you, I'm not happy with that. With those numbers, right? Because our desire is not to lose anybody.
Sure.
The one thing that we found was that the majority of people from this segment of the population, they really do want to change. They have no idea how to do it. So for so long, we've been telling people from this segment of the population to come out and be a productive member in the community, but they have no idea what that looks like. Go and find a job, and some of them never worked the day before in their life and don't have the proper training or the skill set to get in there and be productive or take their rightful positions in a home as a father and as a mother, but they have no healthy reference point of what a real one might look like. So that's what it is that we do. We come alongside them and be able to help them to do that, and that is why the recidivism rate that we have is probably one of the lowest in the country.
What advice? There's a lot of talk about criminal justice reform, and there's a lot of talk about bipartisanship on the topic, both here in Chicago and Illinois at the state and city level, and obviously at the national level, where President Trump signed criminal justice reform of some sort that he has touted, including in his most recent State of the Union speech. What is it that you would advise policymakers in this area of criminal justice reform to do? Not that they have all the answers and they can reconnect people with family. That's not the job really of government, but to better empower and scale the work that you and other ministries like yours, at least in terms of mission, are doing.
Right. So that's an excellent point. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to address this. First and foremost, prison reentry, prison reform, is not a partisan thing. It's a what works thing. And I think that when people get together and address this so very important issue, we have to work together on this. I think that as we need to put a strong emphasis on the men and women who are incarcerated in our country to make sure that our correctional settings are number one, providing them with the tools so they can be assets once they get released. One of the things that we're doing here in the state of Nevada is getting into our correctional facilities and providing the vocational training, the leadership training, the educational opportunities before they get released. And once we provide those things on the inside, there has to be a mechanism on the outside that once they receive all this training on the inside, you cannot release them back in the community by themselves. There has to be a network, a support system that's going to walk with them over an 18-month period of time. And if we do not do that, then we have wasted time, effort, energy, and resources. There's this misconception about people who come home from prison and can't find jobs. My organization right now is sitting on more jobs right now than we can fill. Not only because the economy is on an uptick, it's because we have done a great job at training people while they're inside so that they can be assets to employers and not a liability. And when you can show employers that men and women are coming home from the prison system can be tremendous assets, they put aside those mistakes that they've made in the past. And if they can get inside there and help a business, because a business is in business to make money. And as a businessman, if you could show me how you can increase my bottom line by productivity inside the workplace, then I have a tendency to overlook those things on your background.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, one of the things, in addition to the law enforcement connection, which is really interesting, this is labor intensive, 18 months of preparation and guidance. And so, and it's hand-to-hand combat too, is what I hear you're saying. So it's not something you can just throw money at or introduce another program. It really is sort of the bonding and mentorship and guidance that you and your colleagues in this organization are providing. It's really, really something. I hope it continues to grow and find additional success and turn other people on a path to success as well. John Ponder, Hope for Prisoners is the organization, hopeforprisoners.org. John, thanks so much for joining us, and keep up the great work.
It is my absolute honor. God bless you. Have a great day.
You too.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10 speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Another school year is about to wrap up, and you need to start thinking about what activities your son or daughter will be involved in during summer break. You want them to have fun this summer, but at the same time, have some structure to be prepared for the next school year. Introduce them to St. John's Northwestern experience in the beautiful Lake County region of southeast Wisconsin with Summer OPS, Opportunities for Personal Success. 5 intensive weeks of learning and training. Young men and women, grades 7 to 12, get an opportunity to advance academically in the structured and supportive environment of a military boarding school, and at the same time be involved in an exciting summer adventure camp that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, leadership skills, spiritual and character development, and athletics and wellness. Camp St. John's Northwestern for your son or daughter with full boarding or day camp programs. To get more information, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET, or go online to sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America one life at a time.
I was having a lot of pain in my right hip, and it was causing my leg to be numb below my knee from the hip all the way down. I wasn't getting any sleep. So on top of it, I'm tired, I'm sleep deprived because I'm in pain and I'm not sleeping. So I decided to start taking these things, and the pain is gone virtually. I mean, at 90%, maybe 95%. It was just amazing.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself by using discount code CHICAGO. The price of fruits and vegetables is going up. Call now to see how you can lock in your price of fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. And I'm also the host of the IRS Radio Hour.
And I'm Jim Leahy, the co-host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here every Sunday evening at 5 on AM 560.
The Answer. I know you want a local attorney you can look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So today we have a special offer. A good night's sleep.
A good night's sleep? Are you trying to give away a pillow?
Great guess, Jim. But no, I want to help people solve the problems that are keeping them up at night. If you fear the IRS will take away your money, freeze your bank account, garnish your wages, visit your home or job, and now they can take away your passport, you need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good.
Call attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man at 312-664-6649, 312-664-6649, and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
This is Dan Proft. If you listen to Chicago's Morning Answer, you know I support life from conception to natural death. You may not know I was adopted. Wouldn't it be a shame if my courageous birth mother denied the world of my dizzying intellect? Because I am adopted, I'm also a strong proponent of life-affirming pregnancy centers like Waterleaf's Women's Clinic in Aurora. Waterleaf opened in 2009 and has provided free services such as pregnancy testing and ultrasounds for more than 4,000 clients in 186 cities. They have celebrated the birth of more than 1,000 babies and have an incredible opportunity to do even more. Waterleaf is building a clinic adjacent to the third largest abortion provider in the country, with the chance to intercept 350 to 400 women who abort their children there each month. Waterleaf has raised $1.8 million of the $3 million necessary, but they need your help. Please consider making a donation or connecting them to someone with the means to provide a gift. Every dollar counts. Visit their website at onechoiceonelife.org. That is onechoiceonelife.org. And, of course, continue to pray. We are winning this battle for life.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, this is a nice, just human, regular guy moment for Donald Trump, President Trump. A Connecticut man named Jay Barrett, who has terminal cystic fibrosis and is currently receiving palliative care, he had some sort of interaction with President Trump on his wish list before he passes. Make a wish. And Trump fulfilled that wish.
Mr. President, I through thick and thin, you know, there's been a lot of thicks. Right. And there's been a lot of thins. Right. I support you.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. We love you, Jay. We love you, man. And that's really beautiful. What you just said is, I won't forget it. I won't forget it.
I plan on voting for you in 2020, so.
You better vote for me in 2020. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Vote for me, I'm going to be upset with you.
No, I'll make sure I do that.
You know, just
That's
a,
so
it's a nice
sweet.
moment. You know,
God bless
we
him.
don't get to talk about too many nice moments when we talk about politics and news on this show. So you try to